KSL News Radio,
Utah's news, traffic, and weather station.
9 o'clock at KSL News Radio. I'm Amanda Dixon. KSL's top story this hour: the man accused of shooting and killing political activist Charlie Kirk is facing a unique issue with his case. Kirk Tyler Robinson's defense team filed a motion claiming that one of the attorneys with the Utah County Attorney's Office has personal connections, what sounds like a familiar relationship, to a witness of the shooting. Robinson's team says it's a conflict of interest and may risk Robinson's right to due process. Legal experts say it's not likely the defense will have this request granted. They will be making that decision next month. It will be on January 16th, where District Judge Tony Graff will decide if the whole Utah County Attorney's Office or a single prosecutor should be disqualified from the case.
It would be incredibly rare to have an individual prosecutor, and even more rare to have the county attorney's office removed from a case. You'd have to show something pretty outrageous. Legal
analyst Greg Skordas says if this motion is granted, the trial would essentially have to start over again from square one. Our top national story this hour: investigators are still hunting for a motive in the Brown University shooting and the shooting of an MIT professor. They believe the suspect died by suicide after finding his body in a storage unit. Officials say he was born in Portugal, became a lawful permanent resident of the United States living in Miami, and for a time studied physics at Brown. Your money at this moment: the Dow is up 234. We're at 48,186. Coming up, we've got warm temperatures today and some rain coming in tonight. KSL weather is next. KSL News Time, 9:02.
The sources where we get our news matters.
When you listen to Utah's Morning News, we want you to feel the stories are important to you and trustworthy. This is Amanda Dixon.
And I'm Andy Farnsworth. Join us weekday mornings on KSL News Radio.
You probably know if you need new windows, you hear the wind whistling. There's condensation between the panes. Maybe your heating bill's too high, but you don't want to pull the trigger because it costs a lot of money. I understand. And they understand at Advanced Window Products. After all, they've been creating custom state-of-the-art windows right here in Salt Lake for 39 years. They know what's up. That's why they offer 60-month 0% financing or buy now, pay later. You get the windows this winter for 30 to 40% less because you're buying straight from the factory. They'll build, they'll install your windows, and you don't have to pay for a year or more. At Advanced, they're committed to making your new windows affordable. And if you call now, they'll knock another $2,500 off your quote. State-of-the-art, energy-saving windows built here for Utah's changing climate. And right now, $2,500 off. Call for a quote, 801-850-9100. That's 801-850-9100, or go to advancedwindows.com.
CVS Health supports people in the moments that matter, from picking up a prescription to connecting care. With nearly 5 million daily interactions and serving 185 million consumers and 1.5 million healthcare professionals, CVS Health holds a trusted place in healthcare. By simplifying care and improving health, we're helping people get the care they need. Learn more at cvshealth.com/Investor Day.
Welcome back to Winter Hack Radio, the place for clever hacks to survive the season. Icy driveway? Well, try spreading sand or birdseed to help with traction. Snowy puppy paws? Well, grab a whisk, brush it off, done. Catch COVID-19? Well, just get...
Actually, there's no hack for COVID-19. But if you test positive, prescription medications for COVID exist. Ask your doctor if they're right for you. Visit PfizerForAll.com to learn more. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Hey, this is Dan, the laptop man from PC Laptops. Myth. You might have heard that you need to spend a fortune these days to get a powerful computer. Correction. At PC Laptops, we wanted to prove that wrong. So here's the most amazing deal that we've ever done at PC Laptops for you in over 30 years. The new 2025 S1 desktop or SM3 laptop for only $999. You heard that right, $999. You get a blazing fast processor, 16 gigs of RAM, and over a terabyte of blazing storage for $999. What else do you get? Lifetime service warranty, and we have 12 months special financing on approved credit. Take one home today. Hurry in right now because supplies are limited, because at PC Laptops, we love you. Just check us out at PCLaptops.com. $999, PCLaptops.com.
Traffic and weather together, sponsored by Mountain America's Visa Triple Rewards. And back to you, Jason.
And they have cleared that accident westbound on I-80 at 7th East. That's where I get the east from. Anyway, it's all gone. All the delays are now cleared out. We made really, really quick work of that one, which is kind of nice. But we do still see the accident northbound on Redwood Road, 9th North in North Salt Lake. It is blocking all of the left lanes. Traffic is getting by on the right. There's not very much volume there, so there are no significant delays in that area. Of course, you're just going to want to slow down as you approach that accident so you don't, hit something else that's already there. Everything else is moving along smoothly with no other accidents or delays. Experience Jenny Oaks Baker's Joy to the World, a sacred celebration Christmas show, December 23rd at Abravanel Hall. Save 25% using code JOY25. Tickets at jennyoaksbaker.com. I'm Jason Jones in the KSL Traffic Center.
Today will be cloudy with some scattered showers mostly tonight. The high 61. Tomorrow, rain in the morning with a high of 50. Right now, it's 57 degrees. I'm Amanda Dixon from the KSL Common Spirit Health Studios. Listen online at kslnewsradio.com. We're Utah's news, traffic, and weather station.
The all-new Inside Sources. Your inside access to the people and policies shaping Utah's future. Here are Greg Skordas and Holly Richardson on KSL News Radio.
Well, today is the last Friday before Christmas.
Woohoo.
And Holly, you mentioned that your sixth grader's last day of school for the year.
For the calendar year,
That makes me jealous. We're still going to be here next week and the following
only
week.
a couple of days.
We've got some shows lined out. We've actually got some fun things set up for next week. But
yeah, we do.
No Christmas vacation for us. Let's get to the top story. This is a really interesting story, and it involves the Tyler Robinson case. And by the way, I need to disclose, as I always do, that I helped with the Utah County Commission in the appointment of the attorney for that case so that the county attorney's office down there didn't have a conflict. Speaking of conflict, those attorneys now...
Speaking of the county attorney's office...
Right, the defense attorneys in that case have now filed what they're calling a motion to disqualify the Utah County, they call it the Utah County District Attorney's Office. It's not a district attorney, but nonetheless, motion to disqualify the prosecutors. And what they're claiming, Holly, is this, that at the time of the shooting, one of the prosecutors, one of the now prosecutors, of course he didn't know he was a prosecutor, was getting texts from a family member who was at the event. And this prosecutor and his boss, Jeff Gray, the county attorney, were speaking or doing something in Davis County, and they're getting these texts, these sort of up-to-the-minute texts from someone who was at the event, very close to the event, and apparently traumatized by it. And the defense attorneys have argued in this motion that should disqualify the particular prosecutor because he had a family member there or friend. It's not clear. A lot of the motion has been redacted, who was so upset, or who arguably was so upset, that it might taint the prosecutor's ability to do his job fairly.
Well, let me just interrupt and say, there's like 3,000 people who were there who would have seen it, and then like 1 million something who saw the killing online. I mean,
right. And I don't really feel like having a prosecutor who's too invested in the case is necessarily a bad thing. You know what I mean? I mean,
yeah.
let's say that the prosecutor's wife or something was, I don't even know how you could have a conflict like that if she had organized the event, or maybe, and so they had some
it's just
liability issues or something
yeah.
like that. But they're moving to disqualify the particular prosecutor, but they've taken it a step further and said they want to disqualify the entire county attorney's office because in law firm situations, if I have a conflict in my law firm, my law partners can't also handle the case. You know, the conflict is imputed to the entire firm, and that's what they're saying here. It's a unusual motion, probably not likely to succeed, but it is something that I think when you have a death penalty case, you can't leave any stone unturned, and so you file the motions when you think you've got it. And this one is to disqualify the entire county attorney's office.
So you and I have talked on this show before about a jury pool, right? And because so many people saw Charlie Kirk be shot, whether it was in person or it was online, and then of course it was huge national news, and so they're not going to be able to move it out of state. I mean,
no.
Like, are you going to be able to find somebody who hasn't heard or known somebody? Like, I had neighbors who were there. In fact, we've interviewed several of the reporters who were there, who saw it happen on scene right there, just feet away from where Charlie Kirk was. It's like, come on, everybody in the state knows somebody who was close by or affected by it.
Right.
I mean, that's my response. I'm not an attorney,
And
clearly.
you're exactly right. And the issue isn't whether somebody's there. You make a great point. When you get to picking the jury, and there'll be 12, and they'll probably have a couple alternates, so let's say 14, you want to make sure that even if they know about the case, the threshold question is, can you judge the case based on the evidence that you hear at the trial?
Right.
So, I mean, if you were there, you're probably unlikely to serve on the jury, but not absolutely excluded just because you were there. If you heard about it, of course, everybody's heard about it. So that's not a big deal. And even in Utah, when you have a venue issue, that is the location of the trial.
Right.
And you say, we want to change a venue, you have to change the venue to another county within the same district. Utah County is in the 4th district. The other counties in the 4th district are not Salt Lake.
Is it Wasatch?
Wasatch and Juab. Oh. So, in other words, you're not getting a bigger jury pool.
Right.
You're getting a much smaller jury pool. There may be one other county, but those are the two that come to mind. So that's you might get people that are, up in Heber City or down in Nephi, people who have less involvement or less, at exposure to the case, but you have a much smaller jury pool to pick from.
So let me ask you this process-wise. I mean, it's going to go in front of a judge in January, I understand, and the judge will consider their arguments. What are possible outcomes here, and what are likely outcomes?
So I'll start with the end. Likely outcome, the judge will say, great motion, see you later, let's keep going with the case, and deny the motion. There's a possibility that the judge could sort of split the issue and say, okay, I'll disqualify the particular prosecutor who you've articulated and take him off the case, and the county attorney can then appoint someone because they've got a big office. It's not like they put their entire office on the case. I think they put 4 or 5 attorneys on the case, and they've got dozens more working there. Somebody could step up to the plate. I could see the judge maybe doing that to appease the defense and to grant something that equates to getting that particular prosecutor off the case. I think it's unlikely because I don't think that, from what I'm reading here, and it's a great motion, these defense attorneys are doing a very, very good job on the case, and so is the state. But I don't know that what they've articulated is a valid reason to disqualify the entire office. And by the way, if they do, a couple things could happen. One, the attorney generals could take the case. They have jurisdiction in every county. So
that'd be interesting.
Derek Brown's people could say, okay, we've got this from here, and they could just prosecute it. Or you could get maybe like a special prosecutor, have Salt Lake County or one of the surrounding counties handle the case. I don't know what else is big around that area, but Salt Lake's certainly the biggest county, and it adjoins Utah County. So maybe Salt Lake County could do it or something like that. But again, it's a motion you have to file when you do a death penalty case. You just have to cover everything because you're going to be second guessed, like we've seen in death penalty cases with these guys who are on death row for 20 or 30 years.
Oh, yeah.
And their attorneys are being second guessed for everything they did 20 or 30 years ago. You don't want to be that attorney that gets a case reversed because you did something wrong.
Interesting. All right. Well, after a multi-day manhunt, police say they found the shooter at Brown University, the one who shot up Brown University. They also say he's connected to the murder of an MIT professor, which was super interesting.
I know, this is really an interesting case.
It really is. And I just saw online that somebody is saying the one tipster that gave him something to go on was a homeless person living in the basement of Brown University. Anyway, we're going to talk about what police have released after yesterday's announcement.
I'm back to doing what I love and more, thanks to the Good Feet store.
Does it feel like someone's stabbing a knife into your heel? Or does your lower back give you problems as the day goes on? The Good Feet store wants to help you, like we helped Ann.
Every time I stood up, pain just shot up my legs. Fortunately, I found the Good Feet store. I went to them after my doctor diagnosed me with plantar fasciitis. And now, thanks to the Good Feet store, I'm 100%.
Wouldn't it be nice to get back to doing what you love, like Patrick did?
I was in constant pain. Somehow my fiance and I found our way into the Good Feet store. Put my foot on the arch support system. I put them in my shoes, my back, my knees, my ankles. Thank you. Thank you, everybody at the Good Feet store. You gave me my active life back.
Learn more or schedule an appointment at goodfeet.com and come in and get your free personalized fitting at The Good Feet Store. We have locations in Farmington, Riverton, and Sandy.
Thanks to the Good Feet Store.
You gave years, maybe decades to your job. You showed up, worked hard, and planned for retirement. But now, the company's changed. Or maybe you've taken a buyout or been forced into early retirement. So, what happens next? I'm Jeff Jr., founder of Trajan Wealth. And if you've built up a 401k or thrift savings plan, now is the time to ask, is that money really working for you? Many workplace retirement plans offer limited options and even less guidance. At Trajan Wealth, we help people just like you roll over their accounts into IRAs with more flexibility and personalized investment strategies built around your goals. For households with $500,000 or more, let us build you a personalized plan. We operate on veteran values, service, trust, and doing what's right. Your next chapter starts now. Call Trajan today. 801-207-9900. That's 801-207-9900.
Advisory services offered through Trajan Wealth, LLC, an SEC-registered investment advisor. See website for details.
We just want to have enough money for retirement.
And travel to visit our grandchildren.
I understand. That's why at Fisher Investments, we start by getting to know each other, so I can learn about your family, lifestyle, goals and needs, allowing us to tailor your portfolio.
What about commission-based products?
We don't sell those. We're a fiduciary, obligated to act in your best interest.
So how do your management fees work?
We have a simple management fee based on the value of your portfolio, so we do better when you do better.
We appreciate that kind of transparency.
We also check in with you regularly to keep you up to date on the markets and your portfolio.
Well, what other services do you offer?
As a client, you have access to resources on investing, financial planning, estate planning, Social Security, Medicare, and more.
Wow, sounds like Fisher Investments has everything we need.
At Fisher Investments, we're clearly different. Learn more at fisherinvestments.com.
Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
You know, most diets will help you lose a few pounds, but Soda weight loss will help you lose years. I lost 37 pounds on the Soda weight loss program 3 years ago, and I feel younger than I've felt in decades. And it's not because of how I look, it's because of how I feel.
But you do look younger,
Thank
too.
you.
I let go of 70 pounds in 5 months, and then I looked at the before and after pictures of myself and was like, wow.
It's something when you don't have to carry all of that excess weight around. And I was at a stage in my life where I didn't want to add drugs to my regimen. I wanted to reduce the number of medications I had to take. So the nutritionist at Soda Weight Loss taught me how to have a healthy relationship with food.
And it was so helpful that I could text my nutritionist anytime I wanted to for advice, which helped me learn what I needed to know so that I could keep it off. And right now, this is the perfect time to join, because if you join now, your partner joins for free. It's the perfect gift for both of you.
It's at Soda Weight Loss.
SOTAweightloss.com, because soda is, say it with me, Amanda, state of the art.
Hi, it's Tori DeVito. In every family, small conversations can make a big impact. I grew up on tour with my parents. Kind of different, but we bonded over music just like other families do over sports, camping, or other interests. And we talked. Little everyday conversations from silly to serious that built a foundation over time. Honest conversations, like when my dad shared his experiences as an alcoholic.
Your honesty about that part of your life gave me a sense of integrity that I wanted to uphold in my own life. And I was so grateful that you and Mom had become these sober, stable people who were always there for me.
I wanted you to know, from someone who's been in recovery more than 30 years now, that hard work is what creates success, not alcohol or other drugs, whether it's music or anything else. I said it a lot, and I'm glad you took it to heart.
Talk, they hear you. For more information about talking with your kids about underage use of alcohol and other drugs, visit underagedrinking.samhsa.gov.
The new Inside Sources.
Well, we're learning this morning that the manhunt has ended for the suspected Brown University shooter. Investigators are now hunting for a motive in 2 attacks. One also occurred 2 days later, for an MIT professor was killed. 2 prestigious universities, both apparently carried out by the same person. Here's ABC News Chief Investigative Correspondent Aaron Katursky.
This morning, the man who authorities said killed 2 Brown University students and then an MIT professor is dead after killing himself inside a storage unit where he may have hunkered down for days. The body of 48-year-old Claudio Neves Valente was found Thursday night in a storage unit he rented in November. Officials say he was born in Portugal, became a lawful permanent resident of the United States living in Miami, and for a time studied physics at Brown.
It's interesting because they have now tied him to both of these shootings, one, the Brown University case, and then an MIT professor killed 2 days later. But the ties between this suspected shooter and those two events are pretty significant.
It's interesting, right? So we know that he had been enrolled in a doctoral program in physics, but he withdrew in 2003. I mean, that's, 22 years ago. The Brown University president said that he likely attended most of his classes in the building where he opened fire on Saturday. But I thought it was so interesting. Like, we heard, it seemed like a random one-off that this MIT professor was killed, and now there seems to be a connection.
Yeah, and he had connections. He apparently studied physics with the MIT professor, attended Brown University. Like he said, he probably would have had classes in this exact building where the shooting took place, so he would have known the area. But it seems like the police must feel very comfortable that this is in fact the shooter.
Oh yeah, I don't know how much we know, right? But they found his body in a storage unit, and there was an anonymous tipster that helped them break the case open.
Yeah, here's ABC News Chief Investigative Correspondent Aaron Katursky again.
The tipster told police he saw the suspect inside a bathroom at Brown the day of the shooting, describing the man's clothing as inappropriate and inadequate for the weather and calling the man's skin weathered. Police said the suspect fired more than 40 rounds inside the engineering building, and 2 days later, investigators said the suspect's car was spotted in Brookline, Massachusetts.
I think there's got to be a tremendous sense of relief in both of those communities that the shooter is.
Brown University is located in Rhode Island. It's very, very small, but earlier this week we were hearing reports that it's really close to an interstate highway, and so they didn't even know where this person might have been. Look, I'm looking at a New York Times article because of the tip, right? So we've talked about how they released video. They needed some kind of help, and so 3 days after the shooting at Brown University, officers received an anonymous tip that stood out from a flood of information, and it directed the authorities to a post on Reddit, which is super interesting. So the Reddit user said, "I'm being dead serious. The police need to look into a gray Nissan with Florida plates." And then that tip actually led them to a breakthrough, not only in the search for the Brown University murders, but also the murder of the professor at MIT.
Yeah, and the mayor of Providence said that neighbors were also a big help.
It was because of the information provided to us by neighbors and the tireless work of our Providence Police Department, the Rhode Island State Police, the FBI, the ATF, and many other federal partners. We all worked well together to be able to identify this suspect.
So the suspect is found yesterday in a storage unit, and what they're describing as a self-inflicted gunshot wound.
Mm-hmm.
He's dead. The question I think a lot of people are going to want to know, besides the ultimate question, which is what was the motive, what was going on here, is when he died. And I think the medical examiners can look at that. I mean, did he go to the storage unit? I mean, because there's some evidence that he was hunkered down there for a while, as though he was hiding out for a couple days. Maybe he killed himself immediately. We don't know.
We don't know yet.
And I don't know that it's a critical question, but I think it's an interesting question to find out what he did, because he commits these two incredibly terrible acts.
Yeah.
And for some political or other reason we don't know, and then it just kills himself. I mean, nothing in these shootings. This whole week we've been dealing with shootings that are just senseless.
Yeah.
Including the Rob Reiner and his wife shooting by their son.
Stabbing.
Or stabbing, yes. I mean,
that was even more brutal.
Right, yeah. But they don't make sense. We never get to know the why, but of course the criminal justice system is more interested in the who, not necessarily the why.
I just think it's interesting. And, he was from Portugal. He was a lawful permanent resident of the United States, so had a green card. And what's sad to me is there's an immediate end to green cards in this program. And some of the numbers for this this green card lottery, they're really stunning, but very, very few come from Portugal. But now everybody is lumped into, hey, we're not going to do these. We're not going to do this diversity lottery anymore.
Yeah, and those are the kind of things. It's just like the Afghan.
Afghan refugees. We're going to block travel for all of those.
Because of the one guy that had helped the U.S. government and then came here and committed another horrific act. One thing that I thought was interesting about this case, when I first heard about the fact that they had found him, the suspect, this was a quote from the FBI.
We got him. Shortly before 9 o'clock tonight, the FBI SWAT team executed court-authorized search warrants at a storage unit facility in Hampshire Road in Salem, New Hampshire. This is where we located Claudio Neves Valente.
I mean, we got him. He got himself.
Seems kind of fun. I know. That's what I was a little bit concerned with too. Was that we got him, which would be great if they captured him, but he was dead.
Well, remember that's what Governor Cox said when.
But they did catch him.
That's
Tyler
right.
Robinson,
Tyler Robinson was alive.
Right.
This guy wasn't alive, but at least now we think we know who it was. I'll be interested to see if he left like any notes, or now that they have a name, can they find a social media trail? Is there anything like that? That'll be interesting.
And I hadn't heard at all about any potential tie between the Brown University shooting and the MIT professor shooting 2 days later.
Yep.
Now authorities seem to think they seem very comfortable. I mean, FBI, you just heard them. We got them. And they seem very comfortable that they've now solved 2 homicides. Well, 3 actually, but 2 different homicide events. And by finding this one individual who had killed himself. And hopefully they're right. We don't have a killer out there, somebody else who could do something else. But they must feel very comfortable that this is the person that was involved in this. And
I think they do feel very comfortable. And, I think one of the things that I saw in the news reports is that they found the same car. They were able to identify the same car that had been outside of the Brown University shooting, also outside the MIT professor's home. There is some indication that they attended the same school in Portugal, that the now deceased suspect and the murdered MIT professor were at the same school in Portugal, and that we know that he attended Brown University for a time. Otherwise, we still don't know a lot.
And this case caused some consternation with the Brown University, the Rhode Island community, because it was taking so long, they thought. And it was, 4 or 5 days before they found the individual. But it just seems like in this day and age, Holly, that no crime goes unsolved. I mean, back in the 60s, 70s, 80s, when we didn't have CSI and some of the things that were available today, there were people that got away with crimes, but it just doesn't happen anymore.
There is a connection besides just attending the same school in Portugal. So the MIT professor was also Portuguese, actually. So I don't know what that looks like. But look, back to just for a second to the green card issue. This lottery, it's called a Diversity Immigrant Visa Program. It allocates up to 50,000 immigrant visas every year to individuals from countries with low rates of immigration to the United States. The bulk of them are from African countries, but I will say the number that I saw this morning for people who came from Portugal was something like 37 out of 50,000.
Yeah.
So it's not anyway. It's just a way to say, okay, we're done with immigration in the United States for the time being.
And it just takes something like this to give the administration some basis to do something like that and say, look, this is what immigrants do. This is what happens when we open our doors to help people out, and we get something like this, even though it's just almost like a one-off. But we continue to see cases, and it continues to get the administration going and gives them another reason to further restrict people coming into our country. When we come back after the break, we have a good story to tell you, a story of courage to share, including one from right here that involves the tragic shooting with those 2 Tremont officers earlier this year. We'll be right back.
9:30 at KSL News Radio. I'm Amanda Dixon. Our top story this hour, the Justice Department is expected to begin releasing its Epstein files today. ABC News national correspondent Stephen Portnoy.
The files are expected to be released in batches, with hundreds of thousands of pages coming today and thousands more in the weeks ahead. Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche says officials need more time to redact information related to victims. Blanche confirms investigations of high-profile Democrats who associated with Epstein are ongoing, as President Trump recently directed. But Blanche says as of today, quote, no new charges are coming.
Some of those photos released feature familiar faces, including former President Clinton and President Trump.
I'm a free agent. I'm in the transfer portal.
Utah football head coach Kyle Whittingham is leaving the door open to a possible coaching job in the future.
For the first time since he announced he's leaving his position with the Utes, Coach Witt opened up to members of the media about his decision and about a possible future in coaching.
I don't know if it's ever out of your system. I mean, it's in your blood, and so I don't know about that. That being said, I'm not sure what I'm going to do.
Coach Witt says now is the right time to leave because the program is in a good place. He said he didn't want to leave last year because he didn't want to go out on a losing season, but says now they've righted the ship. As he answered questions about his future, he joked, "If the phone rings, I'll answer it. And if I like who's calling, then we'll see." Don Brinkerhoff, KSL News Radio.
Your money at this moment, the Dow right now up 307, that's 0.6%. We're at 48,259. Coming up to the 60s today. KSL weather is next. KSL News Time, 9:31. Mornings are for recharging.
And they're for starting your day right.
We volunteer to join you in the car. Get news and weather at 102.7 FM during the most important part of your day.
Andy and Amanda, each morning between 5 and 9 on KSL News Radio.
Hi, this is Doug Wright, and you don't need me to remind you how little time is left before the big day. And if you're like me, you've put off some of the more difficult individuals to shop for. I've got the It Cannot Fail gift idea, and it's dinner at Ruth's Chris Steakhouse. Everyone loves the food at Ruth's Chris, the ambiance, the service. It is beyond compare. And making that reservation for during the holidays or after the holidays will be the perfect gift. And we're all looking for stocking stuffers. Here's something that is so easy to give, everybody absolutely loves, and it's a gift card from Ruth's Chris Steakhouse. Don't forget, they have 2 locations. You want to go up into the beautiful mountains at this time of year? Hotel Park City and Ruth's Chris Steakhouse. Or you want to come downtown Salt Lake City, look at the decorations, enjoy a concert, whatever it might be? It's Ruth's Chris Steakhouse. It is the perfect gift for the holiday season.
The KSL News Radio movie show comes to My Hearing Centers Tuesday from 10 to 1. But first, discover what My Hearing Centers can do for you. My Hearing Centers use advanced technology to diagnose and treat hearing loss. These comprehensive evaluations determine the best treatment options. Then enjoy lifetime support with regular check-ins, cleaning, and maintenance. Call My Hearing Centers at 801-701-1629 for details. My Hearing Centers, 8941 South, 700 East in Sandy.
Attention Jazz Nation. We know you've been waiting on the edge of your seat, and the time has finally arrived. All tickets are available now. Let's go! Your favorite players will be back on the court, bringing the energy all season long. Whether you're looking for season tickets, mini plans, or single game matchups, there's a perfect option for every kind of fan. Show up loud and proud at Delta Center this season. Don't miss your chance to be part of the action. Buy your tickets today at utahjazz.com.
Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Ready to get rid of that old car? Donate it to Cars for Kids. Call 1-877-CARS-FOR-KIDS to reach a friendly live agent. Donation's super easy, and your car can be picked up as soon as tomorrow. Call us now, 1-877-CARS-FOR-KIDS. That's Cars with a K to donate your car today.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Hurry! It's your last chance to donate for 2025. Last chance! Donate now for a 2025 tax deduction.
Traffic and weather together, brought to you by Mountain America's Visa Triple Rewards. And here's Jason Jones.
And Amanda, all accidents have been cleared, so we're going to run smoothly again on your highways. I-15 is good in both directions, north and southbound. From Payson all the way up to Ogden, you will find no resistance anywhere to speak of. 89 Legacy, Westside Belt Route, and 201 I-80, all looking good. If you're headed up into the canyons, no trouble there. And even in from Tooele, no real problems on any of those roads either. Christmas time is merry and bright at the shops at Riverwoods in Provo. Come see Santa, shop, dine, and see magical Christmas lights at the Shops at Riverwoods in Provo. I'm Jason Jones in the KSL Traffic Center.
Today will be cloudy with some scattered showers tonight. We're going to get up to 61 degrees. Tomorrow morning, some rain continuing and only 50 tomorrow. Right now, it's 57. I'm Amanda Dixon from the KSL Common Spirit Health Studios. Listen online at kslnewsradio.com. We're Utah's news, traffic, and weather station.
The all-new Inside Sources. Inside Sources. Your inside access to the people and policies shaping Utah's future. Here are Greg Skordas and Holly Richardson on KSL News Radio.
Well, a couple in Tremonton are sharing their story after the deadly shooting of the two Tremonton Garland police officers. If you recall, Holly, in August, Sergeant Lee Sorensen and Officer Eric Estrada were shot and killed. Apparently, there were some people, homeowners, just some people that lived nearby that jumped in and without even having any reason to except just to help out.
Well, we knew initially that there was somebody who tried to wrestle the gun away or take the gun away from the gunman who was shooting them. But this story, it is just really something. It made me emotional just reading it. And so I hope our listeners really enjoyed this story by KSL TV's Alex Cabrera.
Tremonton is the kind of place where neighbors know each other.
It's an amazing community. Everybody greets you at the door.
That small town feel is why Sterling and Courtney Johnston moved here to raise their 3 kids.
Yeah, it's been a great move. My kids have been thriving.
But on one summer night this past August, a phone call from their kids changed everything.
He told me that he heard gunshots, and so I pretty much signaled to him, you need to go in the car and go.
Their kids were playing sports just a couple of blocks away. Sterling may have never driven faster, and when he got there, saw something no one should ever see.
Seen the cop lights, and by the time I seen the officers on the ground, I had got out of the car and walked up the sidewalk.
2 Tremonton police officers, Eric Estrada and Sergeant Lee Sorensen, had been shot and killed. Box Elder County Sheriff's Deputy Mike Allred and his canine Azula had also been shot nearby. That's when Sterling saw a man with a gun.
And seen him come out of nowhere and kneel on the ground. And he put the gun in his mouth and sat there for a second.
Sterling was sure that man was about to pull the trigger on himself.
I remember saying that his kids still love him, and he just kind of slumped down. And so I walked up to him, and he gave me the gun.
Sterling then gave the gun to his wife, who had run to the scene, calling 911.
I hugged him. I didn't know what else to do to detain him, and he fell to the ground and basically had his head in between my feet and just laid there. And a deputy had pulled up and drew his gun, and I pointed at him, and so he holstered and came and put him in cuffs.
The danger was over, but Sterling wasn't done just yet.
I went and laid on Sergeant Sorensen and Officer Estrada.
He says he stayed because he couldn't imagine leaving them alone.
I didn't want them to go like that. I wanted them to have love, And I told him that I was sorry that it happened to him, and I just hugged him.
In a moment filled with violence, he chose love.
I said prayers for them and for their families.
The Johnstons don't call themselves heroes, but investigators say they most likely saved more lives that night.
In my opinion, God took over. I just wanted it to stop.
And for as tough as that night was, Sterling doesn't want to forget him because some people should always be remembered.
Officer Eric Estrada and Sergeant Lee Sorensen were amazing individuals, and I will try my hardest to honor their names.
It was definitely a night they will never forget, but so was the next night when the bodies of both officers were returned from the medical examiner's office home to here in Tremonton and in Logan. The Johnstons say they remember thousands of people lining the streets, hands over their hearts, waving American flags to welcome both officers home. With all the evil that had just happened, for them, it was a reminder that there is still good in the world. In Tremonton, Alex Cabrera, KSL 5 News.
A story that really haunted us for some time. We actually attended through this show both of the funerals of those officers. We those were very touching funerals, and we learned. I mean, it's been several months now. Other things that occurred at that same time that just show these individuals, these Johnstons, what they did. I mean, this man actually went to both the shooter and the two
fallen officers
and provided them comfort.
Yeah. Look, I know that the officers were already had already passed away, but it's so tender to me to think that Sterling Johnston wanted to make sure that they weren't alone and that they had somebody there with them who cared. And gosh darn, that really just just really is so touching.
Yeah.
And really great for Alex Cabrera to track down that story. That's really an awesome story at this time of year.
It's not a story we'd even heard about. The individual who disarmed the suspect and then provided comfort to both of the victims.
Yeah. All right. I have a couple more courage stories, and these come from the Bondi Beach shooting in Australia. And, we've heard a lot about Ahmed Al-Ahmed, who is the person who did disarm one of the shooters, and he was shot himself, and he's been in the hospital, did not pass away. He had a GoFundMe done in his honor. He got $2.5 million.
And he deserves every penny of it. I think he was shot twice, and he disarmed one of the suspects.
I think that was the first story, but I've read stories subsequently that say he had at least 5 shrapnel wounds, right? So, he's had multiple surgeries and things. But there are other stories as well, and I want to tell you a story about a little girl. Well, I guess she's not that little, but she's pretty little. She's 14 years old, and she was hiding. Once the shooting started, she went and hid, and then she said she felt inspired that she needed to go help shield a couple of little girls, and she did, and she felt like she was going to die in that moment, but she laid over the top of a couple of younger girls and shielded them. She did end up being hit by shrapnel. She's in the hospital. She's 14, but she's doing really well.
Saved a life.
At least a couple of lives, right? At least a couple of lives. So just really amazing. So there's another story about a mother who couldn't get to her child quickly enough, but she saw a little girl who was by herself, and this mom was pregnant, but she laid down over the top of this little girl to shield this little girl also. There's more.
A complete stranger, just something you do because of the fact that this child is completely helpless to do anything herself, so you sacrifice your own life.
And if you remember, I think we mentioned this story before, but there was a man who was a Holocaust victim, or Holocaust survivor, I should say, and he died protecting his wife. He was 87. And then there was a couple, an older couple, Boris and Sophia Gurman. They saw one of the gunmen and they tried to grab the gun away from them. They did, but he got another gun out of his car and then just shot him at point blank range. But they were also at least delayed him and slowed him down.
Oh, my word. And that Holocaust survivor story is just heartbreaking. I mean, he survived the Holocaust. He was 84 years old.
87, I think.
87, and all of a sudden he's in another horrible situation, and he shields his wife so that she doesn't get hurt, and he gets killed.
And the youngest victim, and this one is just sad, but the youngest victim was 10 years old, and her name was Matilda, and her parents were immigrants from Ukraine, and they felt like Matilda was such a positive name, very Australian, hope for the future, and they were so grateful to be in a country where they felt welcomed, and then they had to bury their daughter.
Yeah.
Anyway, there are stories of courage, and it reminds me of Mr. Rogers. He used to say his mom would tell him when he was afraid, look for the helpers, and we have examples here and abroad of people who are helping. Now we have another story for you. Patriots of the Caribbean and Patriot Games.
And may the odds be ever in your favor.
We'll explain when we come back.
The Christmas crunch is here, and it's time for all of us to get into the Western Nut Company, where you are going to find so many wonderful gift-giving ideas. From beautiful gift baskets and nut boxes to the famous homemade fudge and the brittles, every gift is packed with care. It's crafted with the highest quality ingredients and roasted and wrapped with love right here in the state of Utah. I'd encourage everybody, if you can, to get into their main store at 4th South and 3rd West. It just simply says Christmas. From the sights and the sounds and the smells, the great values that are there, and the gift ideas can be something very simple and fun to drop on people's doorsteps to something very elaborate for that person you especially want to thank this year, the Western Nut Company. It's a 60-year Utah tradition. Go to westernnut.com, that's westernut.com, or drop by the kiosks or the store.
More than 50 million Americans suffer from a form of mental illness.
And Utah isn't immune, with nearly 1 in 3 people dealing with anxiety, depression, or another form of mental illness.
But there's hope. We can all take action to keep ourselves and our loved ones safe.
That's why KSL has teamed with the Huntsman Mental Health Foundation to bring you hope and help you thrive.
It's Healthy Mind Matters.
Find out more at healthymindmatters.com.
Join us in spreading a little comfort and a lot of kindness with KSL's Quarters for Christmas.
You know, winter is coming fast despite the daytime temperatures. Nighttimes are really cold. And we have kids here in Utah that don't have the warm coats and sturdy shoes they need to get through the next few months.
Remember, every dollar you give goes directly toward providing coats and shoes for kids who need them most. It's easy to make a difference. Just go online to kslquarters.com, donate what you can, and know you're helping keep a child warm this winter.
And KSL Quarters for Christmas has been keeping local children warm for years. Please join us. Thank you.
Sometimes when our furnace stops working, it's something simple we can fix ourselves, if we only knew how. What's up, everybody? I'm Mike Wilson with Any Hour Services, and the next time your furnace stops working, before you call a company out to fix it, try this first. Go shut the furnace down and make sure your air filter is clean. Go around the house and make sure the vents are open and there's nothing blocking the return air. If it's been a while since you've changed the batteries in your thermostat, go ahead and do that too. Then go turn the furnace back on, and if it stays on, you're probably good. If it stops working again, you're probably going to want a technician to check it out. If you don't know one, Any Hour Services has a special offer for any homeowners listening. One of our HVAC technicians will diagnose and troubleshoot your furnace for only $29. Then they'll explain what they found and present you with repair options. And don't worry, our technicians service all brands. Call Any Hour Services and let them know you heard about this $29 troubleshooting special on the radio. 801-443-7400. You can Google Any Hour Services. You can even schedule online at anyhourservices.com. No one helps more homeowners than Any Hour Services.
Utah is one of the best places to live, work, and raise a family. But for many Utahns, the dream of owning a home is slipping away. Home prices have risen faster than incomes, and families are spending nearly 2/3 of what they earn just to keep a roof overhead. From young graduates to grandparents, everyone is feeling the squeeze. Utah needs more homes, the right kinds of homes, so families can stay close and our communities can thrive. That's why Utah Workforce Housing Advocacy created Demand More Supply, a statewide effort helping Utahns understand the issue and take action in their own communities. Because when we work together, we can make housing affordable again for today's families and for future generations. Let's make the dream of owning a home a reality again. Learn more and add your voice at demandmoresupply.com. Demandmoresupply.com. That's demandmoresupply.com.
At Fisher Investments, we may seem like other money managers, but we're different.
What makes you so different than the rest of us?
We ensure clients receive unparalleled service at every step of the relationship.
Tell me more.
Our investment counselors focus on service over sales, prioritizing clients' needs.
How do you make money?
We don't sell any commission-based products. We have a simple management fee based on the value of our client's portfolio. So we do better when our clients do better.
What about client portfolios?
We get to know each client, their finances, family, health, lifestyle, and more, and then we tailor a portfolio based on their specific goals and needs.
Your clients really come first then, huh?
Yes, we make them a top priority. Our goal is helping them achieve a comfortable retirement.
Wow, maybe we are different.
At Fisher Investments, we're clearly different. Learn more at FisherInvestments.com.
Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
Mr. Max, suiting for every important chapter of your life. Weddings, proms, new job, any celebration, mission callings, and more. Mr. Max there to suit your needs with 9 locations or MrMac.com.
Inside Sources.
Well, President Trump announced yesterday plans for what he's calling the Patriot Games next year, that he said will pit the top high school athletes from across the country against one another in a series of events to mark the 250 years since our nation's founding. There's not a lot of information about it yet, but apparently a man and a woman from each state, representing high schools from each state, will compete in some sort of games.
Well, right. There's not a lot of detail. So even in the Deseret News, they're kind of poking fun at this a little bit and saying, okay, so what is it going to be? Baseball, football, snowboarding, pickleball? Like, we can't do cricket because that's English. Yeah. We can't do, are they going to do soccer because that's football in the rest of the world, right? We don't even know what this looks like.
And it would make a huge difference in the athletes that you pick, too.
Oh, yeah, for
because
sure.
You pick a couple gymnasts and it ends up being a swimming competition, you might be in trouble.
Right, exactly, right? So, but look, after hearing the explanation or lack of explanation, there are a lot of people who say it's giving...
Happy Hunger Games, and may the odds be ever in your favor.
There you go.
It's giving Pan Am Games, man. I don't know if you ever watched The Hunger Games or read the book, but it's dystopian and it doesn't end well, right? I mean, they make kids, a man and a woman, a young man and young woman from each of the districts in this dystopian world of Pan Am. They have to compete against each other, but the way they win is that they're the only one left alive. At the end of the contest.
I can see the administration thinking that might be interesting. Bring the
please.
No, that won't happen. But I mean, the theory is, the last two standing.
The last people standing. It's like, and then what? That state is going to get federal dollars.
Yeah, who knows?
What if it's a blue state? I don't know.
They get an award. Yeah. But I think it's fun. I think it has the potential to do something.
I don't know. Look, some of the stuff I think that comes out of the administration is just a head scratcher. It's like, did nobody ever read The Hunger Games? Like, where is this even coming from? You're going to make people compete against each other in every state? I don't know, but maybe we'll see. If you remember, though, this is all part of the nation's 250th birthday party. It's at least 250 years since the signing of the Declaration of Independence. So we know that there will be wrestling UFC event on the White House lawn. We know that there's that scheduled for it on June 14th, Donald Trump's birthday. It's also Flag Day.
The WWE.
Yeah.
The phony thing.
Yeah. Oh, well, it probably won't be
okay,
phony.
yeah.
And we know that the U.S. is planning to build a triumphal arch, and the construction on that should start shortly. And now we have the Hunger Games.
The Patriot Hunger Games. So I guess I'm not familiar with the Hunger Games, but you explained it to me here, and that's why you played the soundbite.
Yeah, and I guess we could ask, is this a good opportunity for student athletes? And it does remind me, though, when you're talking about, is it going to be swimming? It's going to be in July, so clearly no snow sports, but do you do track and field? I mean, you can have really excellent athletes in one sport or even multiple sports who maybe wouldn't be able to compete in a different sport. So it'll be interesting. I can see
it being fun and having something where the two had to work together and work as a team, like kayaking and then running and then.
Oh, you're thinking like a triathlon or something.
Something like that, where you have these two kids that have to work with each other and compete as a team. I don't know. I think it could. I think it has potential for a lot of fun.
Well, it could be fun. All right, and speaking of Patriots, this story.
This is from Pirates of the Caribbean.
So the reason we're playing that is because Utah Senator Mike Lee wants American privateers. He's literally calling it Patriots of the Caribbean, literally, because he wants people to be able to, quote unquote, hijack and seize drug cartel property in the Caribbean.
So I was thinking Patriots of the Caribbean is a twist from pirates
is.
because piracy is sort of what he's advocating.
He is advocating for piracy, but if you are the government that supports this privateering, then it's not piracy, right? I mean, the United States, before we were the United States and back in the Revolutionary War times, people who were seizing British ships, even British ships, especially commercial ships, right? They had the blessing of the federal government, and so
as long as they got a piece of the action.
Well,
right.
But they had the blessing of the government because, and if you've seen the Pirates of the Caribbean movies, they had the blessings of the British government, right? To go out and seize ships, especially from Spain and other places. Anyway, it's just.
So, do you suppose he's advocating for private citizens to?
Yeah, this is literally language of the bill. Although not issued, so the letters of marque are literally a permission from the federal government to go capture other ships. So it allows private individuals or companies, it could be a company, to, quote, outfit private warships for the purposes of sinking or capturing vessels belonging to enemy nations. And so Senator Lee said the Constitution provides for letters of marque and reprisal as a tool against the enemies of the United States.
Can you imagine the potential for disaster with this from both angles? What if you shoot? What if you sink a cruise ship? You know what I mean? And from another nation that you don't like, or what if the boat that you're trying to interdict has its own arms, and the private citizens from the United States who think that they're being patriot pirates get
Patriot
attacked?
pirates. There we go. Look, his bill would allow American privateers to seize the property of cartels or cartel-linked groups, quote, on land or sea, and, quote, to employ all means reasonably necessary to seize that property against the cartels, right? Those are the modern day. And look, not a laughing matter. Piracy is actually a real thing, and it does happen. And there are pirates who do capture ships, hold people hostage, kill them even sometimes, right? But I'm thinking this probably doesn't have a really big chance of passing in the federal government, but there is a House version too.
It is a little encouraging that he says seizing property instead of blowing it up, which is what we're doing now. I mean, because but then when he prefaces it by take all means necessary, that could mean, killing or harming the individuals pulling the ship, driving the ship, and then seizing it. I mean, it's just this can't go anywhere. This is not good.
There's an international declaration. It's called the Paris Declaration, respecting maritime law of 1856, and it formally banned privateering. But the U.S. didn't sign that treaty.
So I think what we do is we give 2 kids from every state a little battleship, a little miniature battleship, send them out for a week and see who comes back with the most booty. Who's got the most?
It must be close to Christmas because we just cannot be serious.
The most gold.
So it's at least a semi-serious bill, but the title of the bill is Patriots of the Caribbean.
Good for Mike Lee. At least he's got a sense of humor.
Oh my gosh! Look, he's probably not laughing, but
no, maybe not.
But we do think it's funny. We also don't think it has a serious chance of passing.
Yeah. So on a slightly more serious note, one of the difficulties that can arise during this season is navigating divorce and co-parenting with kids during the holidays. I've seen this in my own practice where you have people who are divorced, they have custody of their child, and they've had joint custody, and they've had years and years of being with your child on Christmas Day. Now all of a sudden you're not together anymore. Yeah. What happens to the child, and how is that divided up? And because it's a huge change for families. Yeah. It's a huge change for the kids.
I have a question, just even as a grandma, right? So I've got a son navigating that right now, and my question is like, well, I want to continue a relationship with my grandkids. What do I do? How about a relationship with my soon-to-be former daughter-in-law? Like, it's tricky. And so luckily we have Lois Collins who's going to join us to help talk us through some of these sticky problems when we come back.
KSL FM Midvale.
KSL Salt Lake City.
From the KSL Common Spirit Health Studios, this is KSL News Radio.
Utah's news, traffic, and weather station.
10 o'clock at KSL News Radio. I'm Amanda Dixon. KSL's top story this hour, the flu has mutated, and the new variant has already hit Japan and Australia hard. Pamela Gomez is an epidemiologist with the Utah Health Department and says getting a flu shot is the best protection, even if the shot doesn't perfectly match the new variant.
Even partial immunity to some of these other mutations, it can still be beneficial, and it can still reduce the risk of hospitalization or risk of severe illness.
Health officials are gearing up for a rough flu season, which is expected to hit Utah hard over the next couple of months. They expect a spike after the holidays when people travel and attend gatherings. Flu patients describe this year's virus as coming on fast and feeling like being hit by a truck. Our top national story this hour from ABC News. Russian President Vladimir Putin today held a 4.5-hour marathon press conference in Moscow.
No major headlines. He once again said that Russian forces were advancing along all front lines. He said that Russia had shown flexibility in the talks. Obviously, they're still waiting for details from the Americans about this latest form of the peace plan. There was a question from the BBC which raised question marks about the direction of Russia internally, increase in authoritarianism, which again Vladimir Putin rejected.
ABC's panel reporting from Moscow. Your money at this moment. The Dow is up 267 right now. That's 0.5%. We're at 48,219. Coming up, we could set a record high today. KSL weather is next. KSL News Time, 10:02. Reminder about the simplest way to get updated for your day.
Hit your KSL preset when you jump in the car, and we'll take care of the rest.
Hear key news updates and traffic reports.
Andy and Amanda from 5 to 9 in your car.
KSL News Radio at 102.7 FM.
What if more reliable didn't mean more expensive? With Xfinity, you can get reliable, fiber-powered Wi-Fi for less. We're talking intelligent gig-speed Wi-Fi for $50 a month. This holiday season through January 4th, Xfinity is offering their best price on gig-speed Wi-Fi. Guaranteed for 5 years. No contracts, no strings attached. You can save $3,000 over Verizon and AT&T. Imagine getting super-fast Wi-Fi at the same price for 5 years. Get everything you need from Xfinity, their best Wi-Fi equipment, even unlimited data, all included, all at their best price. Get ready to be wowed by your Wi-Fi. Xfinity. Imagine that. Restrictions apply. Requires paperless billing and auto pay with stored bank account taxes and fees extra. Xfinity Internet powered by fiber and connected to premises by coaxial cable. Actual speeds vary. Savings based on promo and post-promo prices for 1 gig Internet, 1 unlimited line, and Peacock Premium versus Verizon 1 gig Internet and AT&T 1000 Internet with 1 unlimited starter SL line.
Pros don't just show up. They prove how it's done, with precision and without shortcuts. Makita tools are built the same way, with a dedication to lasting quality, trusted performance, and results that reward your effort year after year. When the job calls for the best, call on Makita. Built to be the best. Available at the Home Depot.
Quiet down, here she comes. Surprise! Your accountant just emailed to say your quarterly taxes are way higher than you were expecting.
At Progressive, we know small business owners don't usually like surprises because they cost you money. But a good surprise that could save you money? Getting discounts with a commercial auto quote from Progressive.
Also, your favorite employee is leaving. They're going to pursue their dream of being a veterinarian.
Surprise yourself. See if you can save in as little as 8 minutes at ProgressiveCommercial.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Discounts not available in all states or situations.
Give her a Bernina, the Christmas gift she'll love and use from Dave's Bernina in Provo and St. George.
Buy the Bernina 880 Plus machine.
Previously loved for only $1,999. Other buybacks and trade-ins start at $499 featuring 2-year warranties and free classes. Just what you wished for. Dave's Bernina has a second chance at Black Friday deals.
All machines are on sale, including the new Bernina 3 Series, priced too low to mention. Even the most advanced sewing machine in the world, the Bernina 990, is on sale. That comes with free gifts.
Special financing offers of 1.9% for 48 months or 0% interest for 24 months.
Incredible doorbuster deals on accessories that you will have to come into the store to find out.
And gift packages worth up to $5,200 free with certain new Bernina machine purchases.
Dave's Bernina, 691 East St. George Boulevard and 2017 North 550 West in Provo.
Traffic and weather together, brought to you by Mountain America's Visa Triple Rewards. And back to you, Jason.
And Amanda, we have reports of an accident northbound on I-15, just south of 33rd South. Off to the left shoulder is what it says, but can't see it on any of the cameras, so there's no delays in the area. So if you see it out there, just avoid it, obviously. But I'm not sure that we're going to actually see that one. That one may have already been cleared as well. They've been making quick work of these accidents this morning. So also another reports of an accident on South Jordan Parkway. We don't have any cameras in the area, so we can't really see that one either. So if you see, again, if you see it, just avoid it. But again, it's not messing up any traffic anywhere that we can see on the cameras. Northbound I-15 and southbound I-15 remaining strong between Spanish Fork and all the way up to Ogden at this point. From now through December, earn triple points with a rewards visa from Cyprus Credit Union. Shop for everything on your wish list and earn points to redeem awesome rewards. Start your application today at cypruscu.com. I'm Jason Jones in the KSL Traffic Center.
If we hit 61 today, that'll set a new record for this day. We'll have scattered showers tonight and into tomorrow morning. Right now, it's cloudy and 57 downtown. I'm Amanda Dixon from the KSL Common Spirit Health Studios. Listen online at kslnewsradio.com. We're Utah's news, traffic, and weather station.
The all-new Inside Sources. Inside Sources. Your inside access to the people and policies shaping Utah's future. Here are Greg Skordas and Holly Richardson on KSL News Radio.
As we approach the holiday season, things aren't always jolly for every family, and I've seen this in my own practice, Holly, where couples get divorced, they have their children, suddenly the holidays are coming up, and trying to negotiate and navigate the co-parenting that occurs during that time. You've got family, you've got extended family, you want the kids to be able to see grandma, but you also have to realize that in Utah, 95, maybe more % of child custody cases end up with what we call joint custody, which means you try to share as much as possible.
Yeah, and, look, we're going to talk with Lois Collins in just a second, but in the next segment, I want to be able to hear from our listeners, and so if you've got a story about navigating divorce or co-parenting during this holiday season, just text us right now, 57500, and we'll work on those in the next segment. But I mentioned to you before this segment that I'm learning to try and navigate this as a grandparent, and that can be tricky also. But we have Lois on the line who wrote an article, divorced or separated, some advice on handling the holidays just before Thanksgiving, actually, but certainly pertinent to the Christmas holidays. Lois, thanks for joining us again.
It's always a pleasure. Thanks for having me.
I'm wondering if you could tell us just some key takeaways for parents who are navigating co-parenting, and maybe this is the first year for them.
Well, the first thing to remember is that both parents typically have the kids' best interest in mind, but there's kind of a sense sometimes, especially if divorce is new, of competing. You don't want to be shorted on time with the kids on a holiday that you consider special. You don't want your former partner to give the best gift or the kid to have the most fun with that person, and you have to set all of that aside. You have to remember that it's the kids that are important, and you're not competing. You're not trash-talking each other. You're trying to make sure that the kids have a calm, reasonable holiday where both their parents love them and they love both their parents and they will flourish because of it. That's the bottom line in the whole discussion. Kids first.
And that is the best advice you can give someone. It's a little bit of a tap dance, though. Where parents are saying, "Well, wait a minute. We always go to Grandma's house on Christmas Day," and so you try and you've got your own personal interests that you have, but then you've also got to keep in mind, Lois, that the children need to have the impression that mom and dad love them and that this isn't a fight over the kids.
No, it's absolutely true. And the other thing is traditions are really hard. Say you're a couple that always went out with the kids and cut down a Christmas tree, and that was just something that you did and it was special. One of you is going to have to give that up because no kid needs to cut down 2 Christmas trees. And with divorce, you have to kind of figure out what your new traditions are going to be. You can keep the old to some degree, but you need to also carve some new things that you do. And a big key to that, according to all the experts I talked to, is to ask the kids what was important to them. Maybe they didn't actually like cutting down the Christmas tree. So talk about it and talk to each other. It really helps a lot if you have a plan going in. Courts usually, and you know more about this than I do, Greg, but courts usually kind of set up a schedule. There's a schedule in place, and it's not like you're just fighting it on Christmas Eve over who's going to have the kids in the morning most of the time. And so with that in mind, you can talk early and say, okay, you're going to have the kids on Christmas Eve. I'm going to have the kids Christmas Day. It's pretty tough to split the day because the kids don't have a chance to really unwind and relax and have some time. Like we all have time on a holiday where you just kind of separate yourself from the crowd and unwind for a minute. And that's hard to do if you're splitting the holiday. But if you have a plan and you both know what to expect and you've talked to the kids so they know, okay, you're going to have breakfast at our house and Grandma and Grandpa will be there. And then you're going to go over and have dinner with Dad and his new wife, or just with Dad or whatever, then it's a lot easier to navigate. So that's important too.
I'm wondering if you have any advice for maybe adult children whose parents divorced maybe after they left the home, or, you know, when they were in their older teens. Is there any kind of advice or suggestions for navigating that? Because I know it can still be difficult even if you're all grown up.
Be nice is the best advice that I heard from people. It's so interesting to me because I think actually that divorce for adult children is harder in a lot of ways. You know, sometimes you're caring for your parents when they're older, and what if they're divorced and they don't speak to each other? There are all sorts of things, you know. What do you do about the wedding, the kid's wedding? What do you do about graduation and that kind of thing? The truth of the matter is when you marry, you are going to be joined for a long, long time if you have children, and you need to figure out how to be nice about it and generous in spirit and not mean. And that's one of the challenges. I had a couple of therapists that I interviewed who told me that one of the biggest, hardest parts about the holidays is that sometimes someone who has some narcissistic or selfish tendencies kind of use it as game time and a chance to make things rough. And that's not most cases, but if that's the case, maybe you back up a little bit and say, okay, look, we're not going to engage, so we're going to have our holiday 2 days after Christmas, and we'll do this and that and the other, and it'll be just like it. But you have to kind of figure out how to negotiate that too.
Yeah, and I think a lot of family law practitioners understand that Utah law, Lois, does a good job, and you spelled this out a little bit, that if the parents just can't agree, you can almost always default to what the law says. And you mentioned, Christmas Eve with Dad, Christmas Day with Mom, and then next year you switch it around, and so you do it just the opposite. This year I get the kid on Thanksgiving. Next year you do, and so there are ways to do that so that it's fair if the parents can't agree. And I think that that's a safe thing to do for parents, is to say, look, there's no reason to fight about this. Let's just default to what the law implies. And I think that I'm sort of rambling here a little bit, but that seems to be something that would be easier on the kids too to understand.
Yeah, and kids know what to expect in that case too. That is one of the things that's the most important. And I had a couple of people who told me that probably the best advice is to put it in writing. And they're not talking about writing a contract. They're talking about a text message that says, okay, so you're going to have them this day and I'm going to have them that day, and we've agreed on this. And that way you have something to kind of point to and kind of a guideline. But the bottom line is very, very, very basic bottom line is, you guys got divorced. Your kids did not divorce the parents, and you have to remember that and honor that relationship, and you'll all do fine.
Thank you so much for joining us again,
Great
Lois.
advice.
Look, like I mentioned at the beginning, I want to continue the conversation, and we want to hear from you. How have you navigated relationships impacted by divorce during the holidays? You can call us at 801-575-TALK, or you can text us at 57500, and we'll have an opportunity to talk some more about navigating sometimes tricky relationships during the holiday season.
We want to know what you've done, what's worked for you, and maybe what hasn't, so that other parents listening can dial in and say, okay, that's maybe something I should be thinking about.
Yeah, and I want your advice as an attorney on how to navigate as a grandparent, because I don't actually have grandparent rights in this state.
No, you don't.
Stay with us.
My friend Joey means well.
Always remember that the early bird gathers no moss.
But he gets a little confused.
You know, you can't make a silk purse out of a wooden nickel.
Like Joey, many of us can be confused when it comes time to plan for retirement. When to take Social Security, how to use that 401k, what about the stock market, taxes, and Medicare? Todd Kim at Galileo Wealth Management can help to simplify retirement planning. His goal is to have you walk into retirement with confidence, not worry, and to address the #1 concern among retirees today, the fear of running out of money. Call Galileo Wealth today for a no-cost, no-obligation meeting to talk about the details of your retirement. 385-247-7000. It's 385-247-7000 or online, GalileoWealth.com. And remember,
one man's trash is thicker than water. Of course, water's not thick at all. It's watery.
It's the movie show, broadcasting live today from Sound Sleep at our regular time. And it's really interesting because I read this in the Washington Post just last month. A new study that links obstructive sleep apnea to Parkinson's disease. Melissa, we've talked about how we know that sleep apnea can cause health issues later on. This is another study that confirms that just came out not even 1 month ago.
It's crazy to think about how many things are linked to not sleeping well. If you're not getting the oxygen that you need during the night, Andy, it's linked to a lot of things. Things that we don't want to deal with as we age, like dementia, Parkinson's disease, stroke. Besides the fact it's just really hard to be tired all the time. It's not a great way to live.
That is the truth.
And it's such an easy thing to fix. This is not a medication to add to your list. What we do at Sound Sleep Medical is we fix sleep apnea and snoring with an oral appliance. It's just something you wear on your teeth during the night, kind of like a mouth guard. That's all you have to do. And what a great and easy way to fix something that could really catch up to you as you age.
My wife uses a CPAP, and I can't tell you how many times I have to tap her because the mask has come slightly ajar, and I just hear shh.
Yeah.
And so this is what's so nice about the oral appliance is that doesn't happen.
No, and think about traveling, camping, just the convenience of being able to roll over in your bed during the night without that mask leaking.
Or the hose wrapping around your head.
Yeah, I've had patients wake up with the hose wrapped around their neck. So.
Yeah. So what can we do if you don't want to do sleep? You don't want to use a CPAP, or you're unable to use a CPAP because there are some people who can't. We talk about this oral appliance. How do they find out if this is going to work for them?
We got a great offer today during the show, so call in. Don't wait. The number is 801-716-8672. You can also find us and schedule at soundsleepmedical.com. What we're offering today is a free sleep screening, which is a test you get to do at home on your own pillow. Bring it back to us the next day. We will download it in an appointment and give you the results right there and then in a free sleep consultation.
Awesome. And if you call 801-716-8672, you got to make that appointment during the movie show, though, to get this free offer.
250 years ago, a promise was made to connect families and friends near and far. And during the holidays, that promise is more important than ever. That's why USPS is building a better network to meet your needs with timely deliveries, easy and affordable ways to ship, and everything you need to make your season full of holiday cheer. Our purpose is delivering your peace of mind, knowing your love will arrive, bringing joy to all. The United States Postal Service. Learn more at USPS.com/holidays.
Tired of hearing scary radio ads about the IRS? Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000 or $500,000, we have a solution. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS with zero risk to you. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with a BBB. End your tax nightmare today by visiting TRA.com or call 800-583-6681. That's 800-583-6681.
Any Hour Services can help you make sure your furnace keeps you warm this winter. Whether you need a tune-up, a repair, or a second opinion about replacing it, call Any Hour Services or visit anyhourservices.com.
Email from school about the incident today.
Scary.
Tell me about it. Did you have any idea that was going on?
None. I mean, you saw Derek at the game last night, too. Did you have a clue?
No, but you know, teachers like me, parents, we don't always know as much as you guys do. Kids hear first about what's going on with other kids.
Half the time, it's rumors.
It can be hard to tell sometimes, But if you're ever concerned about a friend who's having trouble with alcohol, prescription drugs, bullying, violence, anything, you need to tell an adult. Mom or me, a teacher, coach, school counselor, someone you know and trust.
Dad, no kid is gonna tell an adult about that kind of stuff.
I get it, but if we don't know, we can't help. Speaking up about a problem, that's what helping a friend is all about.
For more information, visit underagedrinking.samhsa.gov.
Inside Sources.
We've been talking about what we do as we get closer to the holiday season and what to do about children, and especially children of divorced or separated couples in terms of co-parenting. And Holly, you get so used to having your kids on Christmas and having the family together, but it doesn't always happen. And I don't do a lot of divorce cases. I haven't over the years, but I've seen situations where suddenly it's Christmas and one parent seems to think that their family's party is so important that the child just needs to attend it no matter what.
No matter what.
And it may be. There's a second problem that we may want to talk about a little bit here, and that is, Lois said it great. She said, you have to think of what's in the best interest of the child.
Yeah.
That the overriding consideration, mom and dad may, or even grandma and grandpa, with all respect, have their needs, but what's the best interest of the child? And sometimes what the child articulates, I don't know if I'm going to say this right, isn't there in their best interest. They might say, hey, I just want to stay with mom all day for Christmas.
Right.
Sometimes you just have to say, well, that'll happen next year, or you'll be with mom on Christmas Eve. This year we're going to go with dad, and let them, so that they're not in the position where they feel like they have to make the decision.
Well, that actually brings me to a texter's question, and we still want to hear from you about how you've navigated relationships that have been impacted by divorce during the holidays. You can call us at 801-575-TALK or text us at 57500. But here's the question. / comment. My grandkids do not want to go to their dad's for a week. I'm heartbroken. And then this texter says, do the kids have a choice? And then my question to you is, at what age do they have a choice? You just kind of set up that sometimes they don't. It's like you're going to be with mom this year and with dad next year on this day. But at some point, what is the point where they get to choose?
Well,
in Utah.
Yeah, 18. I mean, they're an adult, and then it doesn't matter.
Okay.
Now, having said that, courts will certainly take into consideration the child's wishes at a younger age, not at 3 or 4, but maybe young teenagers, where they're able to articulate the reason they want to spend more time with dad or more time with mom. They're able to explain that in a way that might make sense to a court or an arbitrator or even to mom and dad, saying, okay, this year the kid really wants to spend the time with mom because she's going to be skiing and she's going to have family in town. Let's just do that. But ultimately, you want to act in the best interest of the child, but you don't want the child to feel in any way that they're the ones making the decision, because the guilt that could follow that, is tough too.
So my parents are not divorced, but there was a time when I was about 12 where they were talking about it, and they came to me, put me in the middle, and said, well, if we get divorced, who do you want to live with? Ouch. Well, I still hear about it, and it's been, 40 years.
Right.
50, almost 50 years, right?
You can't do that.
That was terrible.
Right.
that was terrible.
You mentioned grandparents' rights, and I'll digress for just a minute. We don't necessarily honor those in Utah. There is some exceptions to that. We do want to make sure that familial relationship continues, and we want grandparents to be part of a child's life, but they really don't, under our family laws, have the same, obviously not even close to the same rights as parents.
And this can be in divorce, or it could be even in the death of a parent, right?
Right. Yes.
Yeah.
And, one parent passes away and the other parents say, well, sorry, grandma and grandpa, I just don't think this child's going to see you. You could petition a court and see if you can get some level of visitation periodically, but it's not an automatic. It's you have an uphill battle.
Yeah.
I've seen those cases.
Look, we just spoke with Lois Collins of the Deseret News, and she kind of laid out navigating splitting the holidays.
You can talk early and say, okay, you're going to have the kids on Christmas Eve. I'm going to have the kids Christmas Day. It's pretty tough to split the day because the kids don't have a chance to really unwind and relax and have some time. Like we all have time on a holiday where you just kind of separate yourself from the crowd and unwind for a minute. And that's hard to do if you're splitting the holiday. But if you have a plan and you both know what to expect and you've talked to the kids so they know, okay, you're going to have breakfast at our house and Grandma and Grandpa will be there. And then you're going to go over and have dinner with Dad and his new wife, or just with Dad or whatever, then it's a lot easier to navigate. So that's important too.
So there's an article in the New York Times. Of course, I guess a lot of people are thinking about this. And this is actually, the question is for a therapist. It was just published yesterday. And the writer is saying, my mom lays on the guilt over the holidays. What can I do? And then describes that her parents got divorced when she was little. She's in her 20s now, and she really likes to spend time with her dad's family. She says her aunts and her grandparents always made her feel loved. And then her mom gets mad, and then she lays on a guilt trip. And when she does spend time with her mom spends the whole time critiquing or being passive-aggressive towards the dad and dad's family.
So it's a lose-lose. If you don't spend time with mom, she makes you feel guilty. If you do spend time with mom,
she makes you feel guilty.
And that's a problem from the parent's perspective. But I can also understand a child thinking,
well, she's an adult now too, right?
Right, or even an adult. It's not worth it. I'll just go be with mom this year because I can't deal with the guilt, and that's unfortunate for dad.
Yeah. It's just, so this therapist answers her and says, look, I see this a lot. It's acrimonious with both parents. They're trying to one-up each other in a competition and like acting like the kids are the prize. I mean, that's rough. And then this therapist in the New York Times says, look, you don't have to participate in this competition. You can do something different. You can create something new. You can sit down and, have a conversation. But she says to end the cycle, you have to remind yourself, not mom, yourself, that your mom's feelings are hers to manage, not yours.
Yeah, and you did mention adult children, and Lois, when we spoke to her earlier, spoke about how even adult kids are impacted and the best advice she has in those situations.
Be nice is the best advice that I heard from people. It's so interesting to me because I think actually that divorce for adult children is harder in a lot of ways. Sometimes you're caring for your parents when they're older, and what if they're divorced and they don't speak to each other? There are all sorts of things, What do you do about the wedding, the kid's wedding? What do you do about graduation and that kind of thing? The truth of the matter is when you marry, you are going to be joined for a long, long time if you have children, and you need to figure out how to be nice about it and generous in spirit and not mean. And that's one of the challenges. I had a couple of therapists that I interviewed who told me that one of the biggest, hardest parts about the holidays is that sometimes someone who has some narcissistic or selfish tendencies kind of use it as game time and a chance to make things rough. And that's not most cases, but if that's the case, maybe you back up a little bit and say, okay, look, we're not going to engage, so we're going to have our holiday 2 days after Christmas, and we'll do this and that and the other, and it'll be just like it. But you have to kind of figure out how to negotiate that too.
So we have a question from a texter, and I think this is a great question for you, but they're asking, do you have any suggestions for situations where 3 children each want to go a different way? They want to go with a different parent or set of grandparents. And then their question is, should they be able to choose that, or should they all go the same place at the same time?
So lawyers always give the same answer, which is it depends. And I'm not trying to punt that down the road, but I think personally that in that situation, we're assuming the children are siblings, that they should be together. And even if one wants to go here and one wants to go there, keep them together, keep some continuity. That would be my primary advice. But if there's some specific reason why one needs to be at this particular event, and maybe there's some other cousin that's there and that they have some special bond or something, I can understand that. But boy, I wouldn't split up the kids for the holidays if I didn't have to.
Yeah, I think again it probably depends on age, right? So I'm thinking just of my own family. My husband and I are not divorced, and the kids, now that they're adults, some of them come home, some of them don't. But when they were younger, I would not have given them an option to choose a different way to spend the holidays. Yeah. Right? I mean, and I don't mean
that
to
makes
be
it easier for the kids too. You're
right.
Exactly
it's to
right.
just say, look, hey, I want to go spend Christmas Eve with my friend, and they're 10 years old, my answer is no.
No, you're not going to do that.
When they're 20, I don't have any input.
and they'll curse you at the time, but they'll thank you later on. And they absolutely will. I absolutely believe that. Well, our coverage on helping Utah's homeless is next. We'll check in with donation efforts at the Road Homes Holiday Mediathon, taking place at the Connie Crosby Family Resource Center. More details on the impact of homelessness for different sets of age groups coming up next.
10:30 at KSL News Radio. I'm Amanda Dixon. KSL's top story, the defense team for the man accused of killing political activist Charlie Kirk at UVU is trying to have the Utah County prosecutors disqualified from the case for a conflict of interest. They say one of the prosecutors personally knows a person who witnessed the shooting. But KSL legal analyst Greg Skordas says he doubts the judge will go along with the request.
It would be incredibly rare to have an individual prosecutor, and even more rare to have the county attorney's office removed from a case. You'd have to show something pretty outrageous.
The judge will rule on the defense's request next month. Our top national story this hour: since the pandemic, it seems that every holiday brings a new travel record.
The FAA expects more than 440,000 flights in the skies from now until December 27th, with today being the busiest day. The scene at the airport can be summed up in one word:
chaotic.
Princess Fakunle is a frequent flyer who follows a simple rule long before she travels.
As long as I prepare early, it'll not be as bad.
On the road, 109 million will travel by car for the holiday, a 2% increase from last year. Jim Ryan, ABC News.
Your money at this moment. The Dow is up 290 right now. That's 0.6%. We're at 48,242. Coming up, it sure doesn't feel like December. KSL weather is next. KSL News Time, 10:31.
The sources where we get our news matters.
When you listen to Utah's Morning News, we want you to feel the stories are important to you and trustworthy. This is Amanda Dixon.
And I'm Andy Farnsworth. Join us weekday mornings on KSL News Radio.
Well, the movie show is coming to you live today from Sound Sleep. We're at one of their 7 locations. We're in Sandy. Or is it 6 or 7? Melissa, did I get that wrong?
6.
6 locations. Okay, Clearfield, Murray, Sandy, American Fork, Provo, and St. George. And all those are conveniently located to you where you can make a free appointment today. If you call during the movie show, you can set up a free sleep screening and a free sleep consultation, and then find out if an oral appliance is the right way to correct sleep apnea. And now, when I used to just use a CPAP machine, if I traveled, I had to pack it all up, and then I had to figure out how to get some distilled water wherever we went, because you can't take that on the plane with you. And it is so much easier since I got the oral appliance to travel. I just did right after Thanksgiving, and I just put it in my shaving kit. It was so simple.
These are really small, slim. They're custom made. We're talking a 3D image of your teeth. So the perfect size, perfect fit for you. If you've tried something online out there that's not custom, like a football mouth guard, this is no comparison. So if you struggled with that, just know this will be so much easier. All you do is put it in your mouth in the morning, at night before you go to bed, take it out in the morning when you wake up. An easy way to treat your sleep apnea and your snoring.
And it's really comfortable, too. I mean, I got used to having only sleep on one side with the sleep apnea machine being on the other side of the CPAP machine. And, wow, it was so nice. I was like, oh, wow, you can sleep on your other side.
Yeah, and keep in mind, these, of course, Andy, are studied, proven to work, FDA approved. Health insurance will usually pay for them. If you've got a benefit, let's use it. Also qualifies for things like HSA, flex spending, and if you're unlucky there, we do have 0% financing for those who need it.
All right, so to get this sleep screening and sleep consultation for free, you have to call during the movie show or between now and 1 o'clock when the movie show ends. That number is 801-716-8672.
Smarter clean in half the time. Brought to you by Swiffer Power Mop. Tired of the mop and bucket struggle? The Swiffer Power Mop gives you a mop and bucket clean without all the extra work. It's an all-in-one cleaning tool that mops smarter, not harder. With built-in solution that breaks down dirt and grime. And a pad with over 300 scrubbing strips to absorb and lock sticky messes. It even gets into places a regular mop can't. And leaves your home smelling fresh for hours. Try the Swiffer Power Mop today. Love it or your money back.
With Steel, batteries are included. This holiday season, give a gift that's ready to go right out of the box. For everything from cleaning up the yard to cutting up firewood, Steel tools check off the wish list and knock out the to-do list. And right now, buy select battery tool sets and get a free extra battery. Visit SteelUSA.com for holiday deals and gift ideas. Happy holidays from Steel. Offer valid for a limited time only at participating dealers while supplies last.
Traffic and weather together, brought to you by Mountain America's Visa Triple Rewards. And here's Jason Jones.
And Amanda, we had reports of an accident. We found it now. It's not on South Jordan Parkway. It's on Jordan Gateway at 114th South. Multi-car accident there. It is kind of off to the right now, and so not really affecting traffic, but we are still seeing, of course, the emergency vehicles on scene. And so, just use caution through that area right there. No delays in place, and so that's at least some good news. If you are northbound on I-15, you're going to be running smooth still, north and southbound, I guess I should say, all through Utah County, through the Salt Lake Valley, and up in Weber and Davis counties as well. No problems on your major feeders or your other highways. They're all looking really good at this point. Looking for the ultimate holiday gift? That's what you get at Minky Couture, the original luxury blanket company. Use code KSL50 online and in stores to receive 50% off. Visit minkycouture.com. I'm Jason Jones in the KSL Traffic Center.
We'll be about 20 degrees above normal today, up to 59 for a high. Scattered showers this evening that will continue into tomorrow morning. Tomorrow's high 50. Right now it's 57. I'm Amanda Dixon from the KSL Common Spirit Health Studios. Listen online at kslnewsradio.com. We're Utah's news, traffic, and weather station.
The all-new Inside Sources. Your inside access to the people and policies shaping Utah's future. Here are Greg Skordas and Holly Richardson on KSL News Radio.
With the cold weather we're about to start experiencing with winter ahead and with the holidays, it's a good time to talk about what we're doing right now in Utah with respect to our homeless population. And today, the Road Homes Holiday Mediathon is taking place at the Connie Crosby Family Resource Center. I'm not familiar with that, but I think our next guest probably is. We have with us John Selvarakis with the Road Home. John, thanks for joining us this morning.
Thank you so much for having me.
And what can you tell us about the Connie Crosby Family Resource Center? I know that there are several that deal with different populations. Maybe this is one example of that.
Well, the Connie Crosby facility, in addition to our family interim non-congregate housing facility, targets obviously families, which is becoming increasingly important in the homeless services sphere. National data shows us that in 2025, the homeless population composed of families increased by 39%.
I'm wondering, and also, again, thanks for joining us. This is Holly. I'm wondering if you can talk to us about the demographics of the people experiencing homelessness in Utah right now.
Of course, this is an incredibly important thing. There's a very, very diverse population experiencing homelessness. The population can't be boiled down to a simple cliche. For example, children, more recently, in 2025, in Utah, saw a 12% increase in the total population. Children now constitute 14% of Utah's homeless population. Veterans as well. That population increased by 36% in 2025. Increasingly also people who are over the age of 64. That increased by 42% in 2025. That population in particular, as well as families in general, they're finding themselves really victims of higher prices and the inability to make ends meet, particularly if one is on a fixed income.
John, we're hearing a lot of buzz behind you, which sounds like a good buzz. Can you tell us what's going on, what the Mediathon is, and what you're experiencing and seeing today?
You're absolutely correct. It's a wonderful buzz. We have a whole lot of people down here trying to raise money, a lot of media outlets trying to raise money that really is designed to help us facilitate housing and shelter for the diverse populations that we were just talking about.
So can you just tell us, how can people make a difference for the Road Home today?
For today, it's about the money. It's about the Venmo coming in. It's about the calls to the call center down at our headquarters to raise as much money as possible to keep people out of the cold as the weather starts to turn, late as it is turning this year. and to keep people in housing over time.
Tell us about the Road Home, the mission, how it's laid out, and what you typically do.
Yes, our mission is to first get people into a safe shelter out of whatever they're experiencing, having lost their homes. Safe shelter, good meals, heat, to keep people safe. That is our first mission. Once people are safe in that environment, we provide tailored services to try to encourage them to seek housing, whether it be education, whether it be healthcare, whether it be facilitating transportation to help them look for work. Once that is done, we are trying to move people out of shelter as quickly as possible and get them into stable homes. We work very closely with landlords to try to facilitate that as well. And we've historically had wonderful success. We serve 8,000 people usually, roughly, per year, and about 2,000 of those are kids. So this is the population that we are really focused on right now: families, children, veterans, and people over the age of 64.
Could you explain a little bit more about the supportive housing? So once a family or an individual moves out of a shelter, how does the Road Home help them with the next step?
The next step is working with local resources, doing our best to work with landlords or with our supportive housing facilities to get people permanently housed.
And how are you funded, John? I mean, are there federal or state funds? You're mostly dealing with private donations?
There's a lot of government money that comes in, but we couldn't do anything without the private funding that comes in, whether it be corporate, whether it be a foundation, or certainly the average person calling in to do their part to help other people who live in their communities.
And I take it that you would enjoy receiving things other than just money. Are there things that are really needed right now?
I mean, obviously winter clothes. There usually tends to be a shortage of men's clothes. Winter clothes help, boots help, everything helps. But obviously we do have to operate, and our costs are about $32, $33 per person per day when it comes to shelter. So cash is always extremely appreciated.
So speaking of cash, how do people actually pay? You mentioned Venmo. Where do they go to find you on Venmo?
Venmo and PayPal are at the Road Home. That's our Venmo handle and our PayPal handle. People can help that way, or they can call 801-819-7300 to get our phone center down at headquarters on Main Street.
Okay.
And is that where you are now?
No, I'm here at Mediathon, enjoying the company of the DJs and the donors who have come down here. And we welcome anyone who wants to make a donation in person to obviously come down here and visit us at Connie Crosby.
Okay, where is that? I guess is what my question should have been.
The Connie Crosby address. One moment. Let me look that up so I don't give people bad information.
I've got 529 West 9th Avenue in Midvale.
That's correct. Yes.
Okay.
I just found it. Yes, that's Midvale address.
All right. And if people want to donate, I know you're looking for cash, but if they want to donate maybe coats that their child outgrew last winter, can they come and drop that off today?
Absolutely. We are always open to donations in that form.
Okay, and they don't have to be brand new, is that correct?
Of course not.
Okay, thank you.
And that runs all day until 7 p.m. Thank you.
That's correct.
Thank you. That was John Celevarakis with the Road Home, and it is an important time for a number of reasons. Not just the cold that we've been talking about every day on this show, but just families being alone and wanting to have some resources during the time of the holiday when people are enjoying so much.
Well, and we know that homelessness is increasing in Utah. That includes women. In fact, there's new research from the Women Leadership Project from the Utah State University that says the number of women who are experiencing homelessness has gone up. Children, the number of children experiencing homelessness, number of veterans. So we need people out there to really pony up. And if it's not a dollar donation, they can take underwear. They can take new underwear. Let me just clarify that. And they can take new or gently used coats, boots, hats, gloves. They
Bottles
also
and sippy cups.
That has to be new.
Yes,
new
of
bottles
course.
for kids and diapers, of course. Those are also new, of course. Diapers, size 5 and size 6. So those are the older kids that are still in diapers. So we have lots of opportunities for our listeners to help out the road home for the holidays.
Yeah, and money, of course, makes a huge difference. And new or gently used some items, if you can donate those as well.
And we do have, again, one question. How do you drop off donations to the road home? And right now they're taking them at the Connie Crosby Family Resource Center, which again is 529 West 9th Avenue in Midvale. They will be there all day. They started at 7 a.m. and they're going to be there until 7 p.m. and they can take those donations today from you. Thank you. When we come back, we get to talk about fun facts and the movie show, so stay with us.
KSL Broadcast Group contests are open to participants 18 years of age and older that are residents of Utah, unless otherwise specified. Employees or agents of the station, Bonneville International Corporation, other area radio stations, or any entity associated with the contest may not enter. Persons who have won in the last 30, 60, or 90 days from a station contest or event may not be eligible. Full general contest rules are available at kslnewsradio.com/contests.
It's the movie show, broadcasting live from Sound Sleep today. We're excited because it's not too late. You're at the end of the year. You've used up your deductibles. This is a great time to look at maybe getting an oral appliance to treat your sleep apnea. I say oral appliance, but it's really a mouth guard, right, Melissa?
Yeah, and one thing that it also treats is snoring. I've had so many people come in lately who say, my partner is just tired and complaining about my snoring. Well, what you don't know is that snoring is actually a huge red flag for sleep apnea, and it's much, much more than just an annoying noise. Step number 1 is let's get you tested. Let's find out if your snoring is actually something more serious, and that's part of our offer today. It's a free at-home sleep test you get to do at home in your own bed, own pillow.
That makes a big difference. My dad was resistant for years because he didn't want to go sleep somewhere else. When I did my sleep test 15 years ago, I had to go sleep somewhere else, and I would have much rather have done it at home. In fact, I did the sleep test at home earlier this year. Way easier. It's just this little thing you put on your head. It hooks to a strap around your chest, and you put a thing on your finger. I mean, it's like really three little things. You go to sleep, you don't even notice it.
Right, and it's just one night. You're not like plugged into a wall. If you need to get up and use the bathroom or something else, you're allowed to do that. It's really important, though, to get a sleep test done. Especially, I would say, if you're 40 and over and you've never done this, you are behind. It's like any other health screening we do, kind of like a mammogram or a colonoscopy. Let's just find out. Let's find out if there's an issue, and if there is, we can fix it. And it's a really easy fix with the oral appliance.
What are some things that happen to people to give them an idea that maybe they're struggling or that might have sleep apnea? What are some signs when they wake up or later in the day?
Sure. So, again, snoring, big red flag,
Okay.
really easy to kind of point out. Are you tired during the day? Are you in bed and quote-unquote asleep for 8 hours, but you're still tired through the day? Morning headaches, that's a red flag that your brain is not getting enough oxygen during the night. Or maybe you just feel like you're waking up too much during the night. Like, why can't I stay asleep? If you can say yes to any of those, let's get you tested and let's get it fixed.
Because it's free. If you call during the movie show from now till 1, 801-716-8672, your sleep screening is free and your sleep consultation is free. That's 801-716-8672.
And we have some breaking news. Our KSL radio reporter, Don Brinkerhoff, is with us with some breaking news. I was trying to figure out your title. You're like the guy. You're like the man
All right,
in charge.
break the news, Don.
Go ahead, Don.
Okay, so a judge has sentenced Mia Bailey to 2 consecutive 25-year to life sentences. Mia Bailey was convicted of killing her parents in June. She's a transgender woman down in St. George. And they had appealed to the Utah Supreme Court without an attorney, and as a result, a competency hearing was held. It was determined that they are competent to stand trial and now to be sentenced. Once again, 2 consecutive 25-year to life sentences.
Yeah, so you're right, Don. Homicide, murder in Utah carries a potential penalty of from 25 years to life. The Board of Pardons, of course, decides how much that is. And so when there are 2 deaths, like you're describing, the question becomes, what does the judge do with those 2 25 to lives? Run them at the same time or consecutive? And what you're saying is that this judge decided to run those one after the other.
Yeah, so
which means they'll never get out,
right?
Yeah, means that yes, that's effectively a life sentence.
All right. Thanks, Don, for telling us that update. And, you know, it's interesting because we actually talked about patricide this week where kids kill their parents. And it happens about once a day, we learned.
Yeah, that's a case that's been watched very closely down in the southern part of the state.
Okay, we're going to be right back.
Hi, friends. Dan the Laptop Man here from PC Laptops. In celebration of over 32 years of serving humans in Utah with their computer and tech needs, we've slashed our prices. And these are the new 2025 models. Here's the deal. You can get our new 2025 S1 desktop with a blazing Ryzen 5 processor, 16 gigs of RAM, and over a terabyte of blazing fast storage on this promotion. We also have our new 2025 SM3 laptop with the Intel i5 processor, 16 gigs, and over a terabyte of storage for $999. You can take one home today for $999. And you also get the peace of mind of our lifetime service warranty. We also have 12 months special financing available, and they start as low as $29 a month. But hurry in because supplies are limited. Because at PC Laptops, we love you. PCLaptops.com. Take home a blazing fast 2025 model desktop or laptop for $999 at PCLaptops.com.
Rescue, redemption, recovery, re-entry. That's what happens at the rescue mission of Salt Lake City.
My name's India.
My name is Kelly.
So I was a heroin addict.
I was living in my car.
Then I decided it was time that I got help.
You don't know what to expect.
The rescue mission of Salt Lake does not accept any federal, state, or city funding. Everything is wholly supported through your generous tax-deductible contributions, along with donations of our friends and supporters.
You have a bed, you have a shower. We get everything that we need.
87% of every dollar goes to the rescue mission services. The other 13%, hard costs to run the mission building itself.
Like I have that hope now.
Thank goodness.
From the recovery program to a place to lay your head at night, and meals served every morning, afternoon, and evening all year long, as well as food boxes for families in need. The rescue mission needs our help.
Like a new life, that newfound hope.
That's what I'm grateful for.
Find out how at rescuesaltlake.org.
Make your holidays magical at The Roof. Enjoy holiday lights and festive flavors with the all-new a la carte menu, entrees, and delectable desserts. Downtown at The Roof. Visit theroofslc.com.
And expanded Inside Sources.
And before we go to the movie show, Holly, there are some really interesting and fun facts of the day.
Well, today is actually Ugly Sweater Day. So I actually have never participated in like an ugly sweater contest or anything, but I swear there are some stores where the only women's sweaters that they sell are all contestants for Ugly Sweater Day.
I can't think of very many men's Christmas sweaters that don't qualify.
I know,
as
right?
Ugly sweaters.
I know, it's
once
interesting.
You have the logo.
It became a thing.
Right, yeah.
All right, look, on this day, which is December 19th, in 1777, George Washington led his army to Valley Forge. On this day in 1843, A Christmas Carol by Charles Dickens was published. So I have to ask you, what's your favorite version of A Christmas Carol?
Oh, it's the one, it's from the 40s. I think Alastair Sim plays Scrooge.
My favorite is The Muppet Christmas Carol.
No, this one is great. It was actually done in black and white, but they've colorized it, which isn't as fun. I watch it every year on Christmas Eve. I've never missed it. Even when my kids left, my wife and I now watch it. It's the one you got to watch.
Well, I love that. I also love the brand new, it's not brand new, but newer movie called Spirited. It's a take on the Charles Dickens story. I think it's hilarious. Good afternoon. In 1980, this was the BYU Miracle Bowl. So they were down.
They beat Michigan?
I don't remember, but I know they were down like a gazillion points. People were leaving. Fans were leaving the stadium. I was living in California at the time, and my friend was like, I didn't see the ending because I left, but don't tell anybody because I'm not admitting that I left early.
This was the Hail Mary
The
against
Hail Mary.
SMU, I think.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That was 1980, so it's been a little while.
Right.
All right. Those are the fun facts of the day.
Okay, well, let's get to the movie show.
Hi, guys.
We have with us Andy Farnsworth and Rachel Wagner.
Hi.
Well, hello.
Didn't we talk to you yesterday?
You did.
Well, we're happy that we get you 2 days in a row.
So
fun. It's not just going to be 2 days.
I know,
my
it's going to be
friends.
4, isn't it?
Yeah.
We're gonna book
We've
you
got
again.
movie shows taking you all the way up to Christmas because there's so many movies, and it's just such a fun time of year to think about movies, including. Okay, remind me. We talked to you yesterday about David, right?
Yes.
Okay, so we are
No.
going to talk about the real
Actually,
big movie.
No.
Wait,
you
did we talk
focus
about
more,
Avatar?
You focused more on Avatar.
Avatar.
We
Okay,
had,
then we
we
talked
had
to you about
David just a
Avatar.
little bit at the end. So, yeah, you did talk to us about Avatar. And I told you, remember, my daughter was like,
Yes.
I'm going.
And did she
Yeah.
go last night?
No, her ticket is for Sunday in the middle of the day where she can sit by herself.
Oh. She doesn't want to have a bunch of other people around her who can't possibly appreciate it as much?
Yeah, pretty much, yeah.
Okay, well then let's talk to you today about the movie from Angel Studios called David.
Okay.
I think what you were telling
thought
us
we had
yesterday
sound,
was
but
that
I
it's a
guess-
little bit like a David and Goliath.
Well, that's
story.
part of the
It's
story.
the beginning
Right,
part.
okay.
It's pretty much all of 1 Samuel in the Bible, like
Yep.
that whole book.
Well, just remind me where 1 Samuel ends because
So
I don't remember.
it starts with David is a shepherd out in the field, and he gets called home. And the prophet Samuel has showed up to his family's home saying that the
Right.
next king of Israel is coming out of this house. And his 2 older brothers are in the army, and they're like, it's got to be one of us, and it's not. And it turns out that it's David. And so, but David's like, there's a problem is that Israel's already got a king, and if the king finds out that another king has been anointed, that's not going to go well. So they have to keep it a secret. And then, of course, naturally, the king immediately calls for David, and they think it's because they found out. But it turns out he just wants David to play because he'd heard he's a great musician, and that's where it goes from there. Of course, David and Goliath happens, and then, but it's beyond that. It's not just leading up to the big confrontation with
Yeah.
Goliath, which I thought was really cool done.
Yeah.
They animate Goliath almost in a cartoonishly large way, but they don't treat him as a cartoon character. In fact, I thought that the confrontation was about as well as you could do something like that in a movie for kids
I
and
agree.
still make it interesting for adults.
Yeah. Yeah, it's really well done. The animation's great. The songs, I was surprised how good the songs were.
Is there
Yes.
some historical context to the movie before he gets to the David and Goliath part?
I mean, I don't know if they mention what year it is. I can't remember that specifically, but they do talk about how it's their wars with the Philistines and the Amalekites, which, if you know Bible stories, you'd be familiar with those terms. But even if you're not, they present them in different ways. The Amalekites are kind of the shadowy, maybe mystical kind, and the Philistines just want to fight.
Yeah, and David has the opportunity to actually take out Saul twice, and that's all depicted, and he gets really close.
So when David becomes the hero after he takes down Goliath, Saul starts to get more jealous. And then Saul finds out, oh, you are the one that was anointed supposedly to replace me. So there's some intrigue. If you want a really grown-up version of the David story, on Prime Video there's a show called House of David that's really good.
Interesting.
But I thought this is better for the whole family to enjoy personally.
And it probably doesn't go all the way to Bathsheba, am I correct?
No.
It's just 1 Samuel.
In fact, it just goes right up, I think, to about the time he's actually the coronation, I think.
Okay.
What studio created this movie?
So it's I forget the actual name of the animation studio. It's out of South Africa, and but it's being distributed by Angel Studios.
Yeah, and this was funded by the Angel Guild. So, like, individual investors wanted to have this one made. So, and the animation really well done. Really well done.
All right. So we have a movie question. We only have 2 minutes. So what's the question for today?
Okay, today's question is, what is a movie whose visuals just blew you away when you saw them? Because everyone's got one of those movies.
Okay, I've got one, but it's not an animated one, and you're not. You're
Oh, it doesn't have to be animated.
You're
It could
probably
be-
not guess this, but this one has the visuals that still blow me away.
This is the end, my only friend.
Do you remember that movie?
I have no idea.
Apocalypse Now.
Oh.
I mean,
I would have thought you'd have played a quote. I was listening to music. Is this Yellow Submarine or something like that?
No, that was The Doors, and this is the end. I mean, that movie had some visuals that just
that's
rock
a good,
you. Right.
That's a good choice.
Here's mine. I mean, The Lord of the Rings, just spectacular. My brother actually just went and visited some of the sets in New Zealand and sent me pictures and said, I bet you wish you were here. And yes, in fact, I did.
Okay.
So Holly goes to Lord of the Rings a lot, I've noticed, and that's okay.
I do. Look,
if you love the movie,
I'm not a huge movie aficionado, so I got to go with what I know.
But that's actually a really good choice. So regardless, if that's the only movie you've seen, that's a pretty good one to see.
We got to hear yours, Rachel.
So I definitely, the first thing I thought of was Jurassic Park. I'll never forget first seeing those dinosaurs. They blew me away. And then
they looked real.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Like, how did they shoot
really
real dinosaurs?
Right, yeah.
It's still the movie I've seen the most times in theater in my life.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm with her on Jurassic Park, but I also would throw in Who Framed Roger Rabbit.
Ooh,
watching that live interaction with those classic cartoons was unbelievable.
Oh yeah, that was really.
I remember that.
That was brilliant. Yeah,
with Bugs Bunny and Mickey Mouse and Bob Hoskins and Christopher Lloyd, I loved it.
Look, we're wrapped up for the week, and we're just going to toss it to you guys at the movie show, and we will rejoin you with the movie show next week. But we'll be back first with Inside Sources on Monday.
KSL FM Midvale.
KSL Salt Lake City.
From the KSL Common Spirit Health Studios, this is KSL News Radio.
Utah's news, traffic, and weather station.
11 o'clock at KSL News Radio. I'm Becky Bruce. KSL's top story this hour. The suspect accused of killing her parents in Washington County will serve multiple terms in prison. A judge sentenced Mia Bailey to 2 consecutive terms of 25 years to life for aggravated murder and 1 term of 0 to 5 for an aggravated assault charge from Bailey's time in custody. The defense team for the man accused of shooting and killing Charlie Kirk earlier this year has filed a motion to have a prosecutor removed from the case. KSL News Radio's Reagan Edelman reports.
In the motion, Tyler Robinson's defense team claims that there is a conflict of interest for an attorney whose name is redacted. They say that the attorney had a personal relationship with someone at the shooting who was texting him in real time about what was happening. Robinson's team says that many witnesses were traumatized, and because the attorney was privy to those heavy emotions, it could jeopardize Robinson's right to due process.
The motion does disclose that the employee reported the connection and that the involved family member was not planned to be a witness at the trial. Our top national story this hour from ABC News: TikTok, a step closer to coming under American ownership. The company's working on a deal with new American investors to take control of around 45% of the company. TikTok CEO expects that deal to be finished up by about January 22nd. Your money at this moment: the Dow is up 279 points. The S&P 500 and NASDAQ also up about 1 percentage point each. Coming up, we're dreaming of a white Christmas, but it's more likely to be rainy. KSL weather is next. KSL News Time, 11:01.
Mornings are for recharging.
And they're for starting your day right.
We volunteer to join you in the car. Get news and weather at 102.7 FM during the most important part of your day.
Andy and Amanda, each morning between 5 and 9 on KSL News Radio.
You're listening to Leaf Filter Radio, and the guru of gutter protection himself, Chris Coonahan, is here to take your most pressing leaf-related questions.
Hey, everybody, Chris here. I understand we have Ron on the line. Ron, where are you calling from?
Uh-oh. Ron, are you calling from a ladder?
Well, I was. I wanted to ask Chris what I need to do to get my gutters ready to have Leaf Filter installed.
Oh, Ron, you don't have to do anything. A Leaf Filter Trusted Pro will come out and clean out your gutters, realign and seal your gutters, and install Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter protection system.
So I didn't need to get on this ladder?
Ron, Leaf Filter Trusted Pros are in your neighborhood and ready to help. Just visit leaffilter.com/radio to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off.
Thank goodness. What was that site?
To get this special radio offer, go to leaffilter.com/radio for your free gutter inspection today and get up to 30% off. That's leaffilter.com/radio for up to 30% off. leaffilter.com/radio. See representative for warranty details.
$5,000. That's the average amount of money people in the U.S. are now spending on gas in a year. $5,000. That's crazy. If you drive, you have to download Upside, the free app that gives you cash back every time you get gas. That's right. You can earn real cash back with Upside just by buying the gas you're already buying. You can literally start earning cash back today.
I use Upside every time I fill up, and I've already made around $200-300.
You're putting gas in your car anyway. Why
not get real cash back? If you like free money, download Upside.
I'm saving the cash I earn from using Upside to help pay for a vacation later this year.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code BOOST25 to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code BOOST25 for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code BOOST25 for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
Any Hour Services can help you make sure your furnace keeps you warm this winter. Whether you need a tune-up, a repair, or a second opinion about replacing it, call Any Hour Services or visit anyhourservices.com.
$5,000. That's the average amount of money people in the U.S. are now spending on gas in a year. $5,000. That's crazy. If you drive, you have to download Upside, the free app that gives you cash back every time you get gas. That's right. You can earn real cash back with Upside just by buying the gas you're already buying. You can literally start earning cash back today.
I use Upside every time I fill up, and I've already made around $200-$300.
You're putting gas in your car anyway. Why not get real cash back? If you like free money, download Upside.
I'm saving the cash I earn from using Upside to help pay for a vacation later this year.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code BOOST25 to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code BOOST25 for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code BOOST25 for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
Traffic and weather together brought to you by Mountain America's Visa Triple Rewards. Here's Michelle Rowe.
Overall, I-15 pretty quiet out there. Just a little bit of slowing northbound as you're approaching University Parkway in Orem, and then southbound going between Riverdale and Roy. While you're planning your day, plan for comfort too. The Good Feet store. Find the location nearest you at goodfeet.com. I'm Michelle Rowe in the KSL Traffic Center.
Cloudy with a chance of evening showers tonight, the low down to about 40 degrees. Cloudy and 50 degrees tomorrow. Rain likely on Sunday and then again on Christmas Eve and Christmas Day with highs in the 50s. Right now, it's cloudy and 57 degrees. I'm Becky Bruce from the KSL Common Spirit Health Studios. Listen online at kslnewsradio.com. We're Utah's news, traffic, and weather station.
Lights, camera, action. It's the KSL Movie Show.
That is a stupid design, and your instructions were very unclear.
The week's big movie review, movie news, games, and prizes. Here's Andy Farnsworth and Steve Sales.
These curious creatures crawl, creep, and climb their way through life.
On KSL News Radio, 102.7 FM and 1160 AM.
Welcome to the movie show, and Rachel Wagner sitting in for
Hi.
Steve Sales again. Make sure you're listening today to the movie show, our final segment. We are going to have a major Steve Sales announcement at the end of the show today. So make sure you listen all the way through. But in the meantime, we've got one of the biggest and longest movies of the entire year as our big movie of the week called Avatar, Fire and Ash.
I am the fire!
Whatever happens, protect his family.
If your father and I do not return, go as far and as fast as you can.
Well, I think I should just point out it made $12 million yesterday alone in the previews. And it's got a 91% audience score, so it'll be interesting to see. For those of you who missed yesterday's movie show, we did talk about it. But here's the quick setup of what the movie is about. And I say quick because the movie is 3 hours and 15 minutes long, so whatever I give away, I promise you, there's way more story that I didn't give away. This picks up right after the events of Avatar: The Way of Water as the Na'vi Jake Sully and Neytiri are trying to deal with the loss of one of their children. Meanwhile, the bad guy Quaritch has teamed up with the vengeful leader of a pirate-like Ash tribe as they search for Quaritch's son Spider, who Jake Sully and Neytiri have sort of adopted as their own kid, you know. But Neytiri's really struggling because the reason that their child died was because he went back to save Spider. And so, as you might expect, a mother struggling with the loss of her own child versus the feelings towards the somewhat adopted child who, oh, by the way, just happens to be the child of the guy that they hate and that she's already killed once. So all those complicated feelings are just barely the setup for what's going to happen in this movie.
Yeah, and we have a lot of back and forth between Quaritch and the family, and we have characters getting captured and then getting rescued and then getting captured and getting rescued.
A lot of people take turns getting captured and rescued.
Yes,
in fact, when I rewatched the trailer, I was like, oh, I forgot that one got captured too.
Yes.
So what would you say were the positives about this to you?
It looks stunning, of course. That almost goes without saying with these Avatar movies. And I do like having a sense of closure to this family and their story, and kind of seeing what's going to happen next. And they tried to connect it to a overall spirituality that I do appreciate as sort of a spiritual person. The great earth, the great mother. What did they? I forget how they rephrase it, but that is what kind of keeps them motivated, particularly the youngest, the daughter.
Yeah, and in this one, they also introduce a rival set of Na'vi, because, all the Na'vi that we've met so far feel that connection to Pandora, the planet. They can connect to it, through the little tentacle deal. I'm sure that right now Holly Richardson's daughter is freaking out that I don't know all these terms.
Eywa.
Eywa is the name of the mother Pandora Earth spirit. But this introduces this Ash tribe in which they blame Eywa for not saving them when a volcano erupted.
Yeah.
And now that's why they're the Ash tribe, and they spread fire. And so I thought that brought an interesting, so even within the Na'vi, this is one of the other strengths I felt to the movie, besides the visuals. I mean, I'm just going to stipulate, this is going to be maybe the most amazing thing you'll see this year as a theatrical experience with the 3D on the IMAX screen. You won't see anything more impressive than this.
For sure.
But I think James Cameron, I got to give him credit for the world building that he's managed to do. And, having the Na'vi, I actually don't mind it when they don't explain to me every little detail through dialogue.
Yeah.
And that once you become engrossed in the story, you can find these things out. Because then, this movie's already 3 hours and 15 minutes. Imagine if he took forever to explain every little detail to me.
Yeah.
He does explain a lot. I mean, there's the whales, there's the,
Well, and we've had that explained also in the other two movies, too. So we've gotten a lot of that there, so you don't need it again. But yeah, I mean, I think all of those elements work pretty well. And I think if you were a fan, I don't think this will win over people who didn't like the first two. But I think if you
won't disappoint the ones who did like the first two.
Yeah.
I agree with you on that. And I say my biggest criticism is I felt like so much of the story was kind of a repeat of what we saw in number 2.
I agree. It felt like it didn't have anything sort of new
except for that fire people.
Except for the ash people. And so it was a little bit disappointing because I felt like the second one did have something new with it being a family story in their journey. And the whole arc with Spider, I just felt it was sort of underwhelming, and I think we were supposed to super connect with that, and I don't know if I quite did.
Well, maybe Spider will get his due in Avatar 4
maybe,
or 5
maybe.
or 6. We'll see how many we get. For me, Avatar, the Avatar Fire and Ash, I gave it a B+. I enjoyed it. I think it's entertaining. My son and I both enjoyed watching it together. I was blown away by the visuals. And honestly, I could have gone higher. I just felt like the story was more repetitive. That's how I felt.
Yeah, I mean, I gave it a mild rotten. It's not awful. I didn't hate it, but I just felt like it was disappointing to me because I didn't feel like it kind of gave me anything new, and it's so long that it felt kind of a little bit like a slog.
A little bit. Okay. And it is rated PG-13 for intense sequences of violence and action, bloody images, some strong language, thematic elements, and suggestive material. That is Avatar, Fire and Ash. Okay, still to come on the movie show today. We've got our movie show question of the week, and since it's Avatar, since it's James Cameron, we decided to ask you, what's a movie whose visuals just blew you away when you saw it? And I'm sure everybody has one, if not multiple. We'll talk about that. Plus, we'll give you our review of David, the new movie from Angel Studios. We've still got a review of SpongeBob, Search for SquarePants. And kind of one that I'm calling trashy fun called The Housemaid that we'll talk about. Not as much on streaming. We will review a few things, though. A lot of series getting new seasons here, like right the week before Christmas. All that is still to come here on The Movie Show. We're broadcasting live from Sound Sleep today, and as I was reading that article in the Washington Post, Melissa, about sleep apnea and some of the links they've found to Parkinson's, I kind of chuckled at the obviousness of the thing where the scientists, the doctors were saying, obviously, when you're not getting enough oxygen, that has some issues that can affect the brain. And you think, gee, you think?
Your brain needs oxygen. It's kind of like you said, it's just kind of something you think would be just a known fact. But things to do with your brain that have to do with sleep apnea as well would be anxiety, depression, memory loss, and more serious things down the road like dementia.
Well, and another thing, too, when you're not getting enough oxygen, and that's what, for those of you who aren't familiar with sleep apnea, it's you're not breathing correctly. And so your body cannot go into the rest that it's supposed to get because it keeps waking you up. So, oh, yeah, you can stay alive and continue to breathe. And so then that lack of sleep can then also affect metabolism. I mean, we've talked about long-term. Metabolism is a short-term thing, too.
Right. So if you're out there and you've been, like, working out, dieting, feeling like you're doing everything you should to drop those pounds and it's just not happening, it could be that your sleep apnea that's going untreated is messing up things like stress hormones, blood sugar levels. It is making it harder for you to lose weight.
So here's what we can do. Sound Sleep, you've got a deal. We love free stuff on The Movie Show. What's the free stuff they can get?
Okay, so you can find us, first of all, at soundsleepmedical.com or call the number right now. It's 801-716-8672. Do it right now. Don't wait. But what you'll get is a free sleep screening. This is a test you get to do at home in your own bed. Bring it back to us. We'll set you up with one of our sleep specialists. We've got 6 offices. We'll download it right there, give you results right then. That appointment, the test, completely free, no obligation with the show today.
But you got to call during the show to get that set up. It could be you. It could be a loved one. If snoring's an issue, come find out if it may be more than just an annoying sound. Maybe there's something that could affect long-term. 801-716-8672. You make that appointment. Where are the locations, Melissa, that they'd need to pick up that test?
So we're up and down the Wasatch Front. We've got Clearfield, Murray, Sandy, American Fork, Provo, and St. George.
So there's a place not too far away from you at soundsleepmedical.com or 801-716-8672.
Give her a Bernina, the Christmas gift she'll love and use from Dave's Bernina in Provo and St. George.
Buy the Bernina 880 Plus machine.
Previously loved for only $1,999. Other buybacks and trade-ins start at $499 featuring 2-year warranties and free classes. Just what you wished for. Dave's Bernina has a second chance at Black Friday deals.
All machines are on sale, including the new Bernina 3 Series, priced too low to mention. Even the most advanced sewing machine in the world, the Bernina 990, is on sale. That comes with free gifts.
Special financing offers of 1.9% for 48 months or 0% interest for 24 months.
Incredible doorbuster deals on accessories that you will have to come into the store to find out.
And gift packages worth up to $5,200 free with certain new Bernina machine purchases.
Dave's Bernina, 691 East St. George Boulevard and 2017 North 550 West in Provo.
Join KSL News Radio for a special movie show Monday from 10 to 1 at the NPS store in Salt Lake City at 1600 Empire Road. NPSstore.com.
$5,000. That's the average amount of money people in the U.S. are now spending on gas in a year. $5,000. That's crazy. If you drive, you have to download Upside, the free app that gives you cash back every time you get gas. That's right. You can earn real cash back with Upside just by buying the gas you're already buying. You can literally start earning cash back today.
I use Upside every time I fill up, and I've already made around $200-300.
You're putting gas in your car anyway. Why not get real cash back? back. If you like free money, download Upside.
I'm saving the cash I earn from using Upside to help pay for a vacation later this year.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code POWER to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code POWER for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code POWER for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
Winters along the Wasatch Front get cold, but imagine if your furnace isn't working. It may be hard to imagine, but the reality is there are families that could go this winter without heat. Join KSL News Radio and Gillette Heating and Cooling and give the gift of heat to deserving families with a Carrier furnace. If you know a family in need, please nominate them today at kslnewsradio.com. They could get a new energy-efficient furnace to provide warmth and comfort for many winters to come. Your house is your home, and with Gillette Heating and Cooling, we can make it a place where love isn't the only thing that warms your heart. Make your nomination today at kslnewsradio.com and give the gift of heat with Gillette Heating and Cooling at GilletteHVAC.com, a Carrier factory authorized dealer. Turn to the experts. Make your nomination at kslnewsradio.com.
Merry Christmas.
Where do you think you're going? Nobody's leaving. Nobody's walking out on this fun old-fashioned family Christmas. No, we're all in this together.
From the KSL Movie Show.
Welcome. Rachel Wagner sitting in for Steve Sales, and our movie show question of the week is, what's a movie whose visuals just blew you away? Our first response immediately from our movie show club member, Eric, Prometheus in the Alien series.
Oh.
Do you remember that one?
Yeah.
Okay.
That did have some good visuals.
We got a vote for The Martian. And I'm not surprised by this one. In fact, as I'm looking through these answers, I think it's interesting to maybe guess the age of people who are sending it in, or at least the generation that they grew up in, because everybody has that one, especially when you're a kid. And that's one of the reasons we love movies so much, is there was always something that visually blew us away at some point. Definitely 2001: A Space Odyssey. No CGI and no green screen. No green screen.